You were able to learn a little bit more, but you also did give some information to the sergeant about the Gilded Thorn, this group that had snatched Glimmer away from you all. You were able to point them in the direction of their hideout and get a little bit of information as to even more of the kind of political and the social landscape of the city. The city that is split in half between these two kind of at odds bureaucratic government factions, the Seat of Devotion and the House of Logic. Um, Meanwhile, after that meeting, the sergeant led, I believe it was Goradide, Miragash, um, Bellamy,
Violet.
and Violet. Having concluded that meeting, is leading you through the House of Logic to meet with the Master Trader Corbin Voss, someone that you've been looking to try and touch base with for a number of days now. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the city, Uriel and Glimmer kind of pointed in the direction of the Phase Foundry by the innkeeper, Talon, owner and proprietor of the Haven Inn, after kind of realizing and kind of identifying Glimmer and seeing that something was wrong, kind of pointed you in the right direction, saying you may find some solace there. You were able to meet with Thrain, the master smith that operates the Phase Foundry, and were led downstairs to a hidden forge beneath the smithy and met with a high fae, with which Glimmer decided to give a small, kind of thoughtless gift. And in return, she was given
Not
a...
thoughtless.
Not thoughtless, okay. Well, seemingly innocent gift. Before she was given in return the location of a way back to the Feywild, some sort of path or doorway, and our only real lead in that direction is that it sits beneath the highest peak of the Tindaros Forest, far to the east.
What was the name of the forest?
The Tindaros Forest. It is over in the Dominion. So it is far east, across the grasslands and deep in the forest, underneath the highest mountain.
I do have a question, if you're done.
Yes.
How did he relay this information? Is it like verbally, or was it
no, he Uriel, you watched this quiet little exchange of, you gave me a gift, now I'm gonna give you one, as this massive form, this 7.5 feet tall high fae, bright silver hair that goes down to his waist, and these kind of glacier blue and gem-like eyes, sinks on his haunches and locks eyes with Glimmer before he kind of presses a light kiss to her forehead, and you see Glimmer kind of rock back on her heels, and then Elian, the high fae, sits back up, stands, and just goes right back to the forge, and Glimmer's kind of just left there, kind of just like going back and forth on her a little bit, yeah. Kind of in your own mind for a moment, as your brain and your mind kind of processes the information that was just relayed to you. And as you open your eyes, you realize you know a way home. It's not a perfect road. It's not an immediate path of it's here, but you have a direction and a general idea of where to go and where to look. But to continue that, yes, you two watch Elian turn his back to you and go back to the forge, where he picks up this set of tongs, fishes through the coals of this massive bed of hot coals and fire, and fishes out a narrow piece of metal, and kind of puts it on his anvil, and takes a small hammer that looks like it's almost made of glass, and begins just lightly tapping on this piece of metal, just back in his work.
Thank you for showing me the way back home. Is it okay if I visit you sometime in the future?
without looking at either you kind of now just getting absorbed back into his work. Yes, that would be welcome. And if you wish, the next time you come seeking new wares, Thrain will avail you to my works as well as his.
I didn't even think of that. Oh my gosh, yes. Thank
And
you.
mechanically, you all have access to Elian's face smithing.
You're welcome.
Oh.
I didn't do anything except be a fae, but you're welcome.
Okay.
Is there anything else you two would like to do down here?
I assume on the way back, are we headed back to the inn, or where is Uriel and Glimmer headed?
Where are you going? Where are you two going?
Are we meeting
You
up
know,
with...
the other four were led to the House of Logic to meet with the Master Trader.
We should probably go to
Where
the
you
House
goes
of
up to
Logic then.
Okay.
On the way to the House of Logic, Glimmer will talk to Uriel and just be like,
I figured out, well, I didn't figure out, but Elian told me how to get back home, or at least the general direction of how to get back home.
Really?
I need to go east, like super far east.
Piece of information. Your looks a lot more like relieved now that we're not down there. Looks very more. He looks a lot more comfortable.
Mhm.
Very interesting.
It was my first time meeting a true fae.
I cannot say the same. My first time meeting one so amicable.
Last time you met with a true fae, what happened?
Unpleasant things.
I'm sorry that happened.
You see, he just kind of like. Glimmer has crazy passive perception. He's the same thing that Amados you see that Violet saw. He's like twisting around something in his hand, like he has something small that fits in his hand. When he's just kind of like moving it around in his hand.
What's in your hand?
Something
You keep fiddling with it.
to do.
Can I see?
I don't think you want to.
What is it? Silver?
And like puts it up where it's kind of in between two fingers, and it's one of those pins. That were in Glimmer's with.
Yeah. How many do you have?
Just the one.
she's gonna hold up her pinky.
Promise me you're not going to put any pins in me.
I promise.
On your god.
Everything I say is on my.
You got me there.
Does he hold out his pinky?
He looks at it weirdly. Taps it.
Okay, so what you have to do is you have to link the pinkies and then you link thumbs. And that's how you make sure that it's sealed.
Never heard of that.
That's a thing.
Takes the gauntlet like off of his hand, and then does it. And
Okay. If you break this promise, nothing bad will happen in theory, but I'll come for you. Once I get the pins out of me, I'll come for you, so don't break it.
I've broken a promise in my life.
I really respect that, Uriel. Be welcome.
Okay. Uriel, you take off your gauntlet.
In my
as-
head,
yep.
the knuckles, like where you would like impact someone if you were punching them, are lined with your silver, are lined with silver
On his bare knuckles.
on the gauntlets.
Oh, I was like, you have silver
No,
implanted in your
the
knuckles.
like
He's
the
Wolverine.
where you would like make contact
Yes.
with your like gauntlet are silver.
Yeah, that's a very common thing among more skilled or higher ranking theocracy troops or officers is silver filigree. Cathars that are out in the field will often have silver gilded onto their armor on the points and the edges. On their kind of trademark, like white coats, they have those high collars. Those that are expecting to go against certain creatures get them like with like silver like studs on them to prevent from bites and all kinds of things. Uriel, as you kind of bring your hand down from this kind of pinky promise, this little tiny little bargain with a fae, you look at your hand and there is a lightly glowing symbol on the back of your hand. It looks like an open eye in kind of almost like it's just like gold that's just like gilded onto your skin, and there's like little like triangular sunbursts coming out from the eye. Mechanically, you do have your narrative feat.
You're welcome.
Let's go.
It's not from the promise, it is from your communion at the midnight mass the
Oh.
day before.
It's from me.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
no.
yeah, no, it's from you. Absolutely.
You are now cursed.
So
I thought that's where I was going. Frank.
Yeah, I thought so too.
You are now
So-
cursed.
If you break this
So-
promise, you lose your soul.
I will need to port this over onto your onto a sheet for you, or just list it out for you. I can. Actually, you don't use a fucking D&D Beyond sheet.
Yeah, just
so
tell me. I'll
hold
write it
on.
down.
The feat is the Solar Exemplar. There's a couple things. The first is the Sun God's Gaze. As an action, you can focus your gaze on a creature you see within 30 feet of you. They make a Wisdom saving throw of involving your charisma, and they are marked by divine light for a minute. While they are marked, you get to ask a singular question regarding the target's resistances, vulnerabilities, immunities. So you get to determine creature stats.
Sick. That's perfect. for
Delving. We also have the Flare of Devotion. When an ally within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to teleport within 5 feet of them and take the damage instead. You reduce that damage by an amount equal to your charisma modifier, and any remaining is dealt to you. When you use that feature, you do an extra 2d6 radiant damage on your next attack or spell. So
have-
you
have
take
a save
damage,
plus-
and then that damage empowers you on your next attack or spell.
Boston.
Let's go.
And then the final part, track the unseen. You gain proficiency in the survival skill if you do not have it. If you do have it, you get expertise. And then while you are tracking celestial, fiends, undead, or fae, you can add your charisma modifier to that check. That is the Solar Exemplar.
So it becomes a charisma skill instead of a wisdom skill. Basically.
No, it is still a wisdom skill, but you get to add your charisma on top of it.
Cool. It'll go from a -1 to a +2, and then prevent the proficiency. I'll take it.
Better know that.
And you get a
Right,
little
right.
bit of a bonus on tracking specific creatures. Yeah,
He's
but
going
you look
in
down
there.
and it's almost like there's etched gold on the back of your hand of just this open eye, with little like triangular sunbursts coming out of it.
He just kind of like puts his other hand on top of it. And smiles to himself. Puts the gauntlet back on.
You two begin your way back, heading back through the Sword Corridor and across the Coin District into the House of Logic. Meanwhile, Bellamy, Violet, Goradai, and Miragash, Sergeant Kellen, having kind of concluded your meeting with him immediately, is leading you through kind of the bureaucratic maze of this building. And as you kind of go around, you see people kind of going to and from. Some people look like lawmakers and bureaucrats. You see some people that look more like military-minded. Perhaps they're the guard or of a military force of this region. And kind of looking around, this was quite almost certainly a fortress before it was used as a center of law and governance. You're led up 2 flights of stairs, these wide, heavy stone stairs. The entire building is like very open ceiling concept. So there's no narrow hallways. Everything goes almost straight up to the next floor, 10, 20 feet above you. And as you are traveling, it's quite busy here. But you do see a noted reduced amount of religious denotation. Throughout the city, people in stores, they might have like a little totem or a little like a art piece or something that kind of denote their deity. This being a very religious city, with the capital of kind of their faith here at the seat of devotion high above the city. You don't see a lot of that here. It's very devoid of obvious faith. Eventually, the sergeant stops at this heavy, kind of like a red wood door, and kind of turns to you. This is Master Voss's offices. What was, if you could again, what was it that you were looking to meet with him about? You had a delivery, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk with him about all this, his response.
A moment. He lightly knocks on the door, and opens it a crack and kind of just announces, Sergeant Kellen, here to speak with Master Voss regarding the delivery. You hear a muffled voice from inside. Sounds male, deep voice. He steps in and closes the door behind. You hear some muffled talking for a moment before the door cracks back open and you see Sergeant Kellen standing there. Enter, please. You got lucky. His meetings are running a bit late, so he has a little bit of time.
Here we go.
Opens the door to you all. You see a massive room, probably like 50 by 100 feet. This is a very, very large room. Immediately, you see that there are 4 large, like, office desks. Like what you see, like a very like stereotypical, like a movie set where there's heavy wood cabinets on each side and a big desk with candles and parchment all spread out. There, 2 of them are occupied. There's an older man and then a younger woman sitting in like these high-backed like leather chairs at these desks, facing you. All of these desks face you. And they're writing in some paperwork of some sort.
Right.
Off
When
on.
he,
Mhm.
Sorry. Just when he goes in to talk to him and we're just by ourselves, I want to cast guidance on Violet just preemptively before we go on.
Okay. On the
Call.
right side of the room, almost the entirety of the 100-foot length of this room is filled with bookshelves. There is small breaks where there's like a small nightstand with like a vase and some flowers in it, or something of that nature. Off to the left, you see that there's one corner that looks like a small bar with drinks kind of arrayed along the wall with a heavy mirror that kind of reflects the entirety of the room. And you see little trays of like food and drink, as well as some thick, heavy plush couches and chairs. You kind of get the idea that the people that work here probably spend about 20 hours of their day here at a minimum. So this office is well furnished to living here as well as working here. The back, like 30 feet of the room beyond these 4 heavy kind of workstations, as it were, there's a raised wooden platform. There's about like 5 or 6 shallow steps that go up to another kind of a dais where there's an even larger kind of a U-shaped desk covered in files and folders of all sorts. You see a small corner that is like has like this bundle of like potion bottles in like a basket. You see candles, all like loose candles, not on holders, candelabras, just put right on top of the desk. And behind it, this very narrow, high-backed chair, you see sitting a human, about average height, maybe 5'8", 5'9", very lean, but he has a very sturdy build. He has shoulder length, like wavy, like brown chestnut hair, that he kind of has tied back at the nape. He has pretty sharp facial features, a very well-groomed, like sharp-edged mustache, and a little patch at the bottom, so he's kind of got a little bit of a goatee going on. He has these deep, very fine clothes of like deep blue and green, with some gold embroidering around the edges and tassels and the strings and such. As well as each of his hands are heavy with multiple rings. No gems on them, just heavy metal with some sort of inscribing of some sort. And he just doesn't even look up as you all enter and kind of march across the room before you stop at these small stairs. And the sergeant kind of calls up, Master Trader Corvin Voss. Allow me to introduce you to, well, they don't have a name, but we have Miss Violet, and then Mrs. Bellamy, Marigash, and Gorda.
I only told him my name was Miro, and that was on purpose.
Miro.
Yeah. And because of how the new guidance works a bit differently, it's now not just on your next ability check, but I have to choose a specific skill. So for the next minute, anytime you make a persuasion check, you get a D4.
Okay. Good, because I hated guidance so fucking.
No, it's different now. You choose a skill and it stays on.
As the sergeant kind of introduces you all, Corvin kind of looks up briefly before going right back down to this bundle of rolls and books kind of arrayed around his desk. Yes, thank you, Sergeant. If you'd like, please get yourself and our guests a drink. Thank you. Please, if you'd like to sit, there's some chairs over by the corner. And off to the side, you see like 5 or 6, well-made, just wooden chairs. You can array them however is comfortable. I understand that you have something for me.
Is his assistant still here?
There's 2 people. There's 2 kind of assistants still in the room. They're probably like a good 50 feet behind you, doing their work still. And then there's Corvin Voss in front of you, and then Sergeant Kellen.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna respond to him, but yeah, we have this letter for you. Here you are. I'll hand it.
And he kind of almost like kind of looking at you, but still like very much absorbed in his work. Reaches over and kind of grabs it from you. Yes, and who's this letter from?
What was his name again? I'm so sorry.
He was from
Sorry.
the little town in the mountains. What was the town's name?
Called?
Oh, you're not.
Aaron,
You're
do
not do that?
you think is this like a trick to get
Old.
the answer?
Lord
What's-
Mathis.
Lord Mathis.
Lord Mathis.
Yeah, it's
Mathis
Lord-
Warpson.
I'm gonna motion to like say it quietly, and I'll just like eye the assistants, because
Lord Mathis.
At the name, he kind of actually looks up and kind of registers each of you. Haven't heard from Mathis in some time. Kind of actually pushes himself away from the desks for a moment and kind of dismisses the work that he was so involved in, and kind of takes a little knife from his side and kind of undoes the wax, pulls out this letter, and you can see it's like a good 4 or 5 pages of parchment. Please, if you'd like a drink or food, we have some. And you see the sergeant kind of make his way around with a hand. In each hand, he has 3 like crystal glasses of like some dark amber liquid. He sets one down in front of Corvin Voss, and then kind of hands like he has 4 more for the rest of you, and 1 for himself if you choose to take them.
I do.
Is it like alcohol or?
You pick it up and kind of smell it. It is alcohol. It is like a very like cinnamon brandy of some sort.
Take one to not be rude, but I won't really do more than like a few sips.
Fireball.
You could have finished that.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'll take one as well and just kind of
Now.
sample it. And
Yeah,
be like,
it burns a little bit. It's like drinking a hot tamale.
Ooh. Yeah,
Damn.
my boy does not like alcohol, so he's kind of.
he doesn't need anything more effective than mine.
Melvin's just like,
I'm immediately making this guy think you're an alcoholic. I love it.
I'll pass it to Bellamy.
As you go, the sergeant kind of takes these chairs from kind of the side of the room where they're kind of just stacked and stored, and he kind of puts them out in front of you, and then he himself goes to the side and stands kind of at like a 45-degree angle behind Corvin Voss, so he can kind of see the entirety of the room. Now leaning back in his chair pretty heavily, Corvin Voss kind of flips to the last page of this letter before he kind of folds it up and then kind of just puts it in a small drawer off of his desk.
don't lose it. As he looks at the rest of the papers.
No, he takes all the papers and then puts them away.
Yeah, I was being smart ass. Saying, don't lose it.
Well, I
Um,
wasn't expecting a letter from Mathis for quite some time. I mean, considering how he left the city, but very interesting contents. So, who are you? Tell me your story. I know it was in the letter, but I'd like to get a first-hand account.
Think Bellamy, if you want to start.
I'm Bellamy, Violet, Miro, Goradai. Anyways, we're looking for a ship. Okay, that's pretty much the gist of it. Been all over the place, chasing this damn thing. We can't find it. We'll wind up here.
You are aware that this is an inland city, right? Not a lot of ships come through here.
Yeah, well, you know, we had a letter with your name on it, so here we are.
We were given information that the ship, its current owner, is someone that both we and your friend have had something to speak.
You can say the name.
I'll just look back at the assistants and look back at him, kind of like, okay.
They work for me.
Well,
It-
can't
No
blame
need
a
to
guy.
be so
for,
concerned.
The name of the ship, you mean?
Sure.
The Lord.
Sure.
Well, we're looking for Lord Carrion Silkar. And the ship, Bellamy?
The Riptide.
It might be going under a different name currently. I believe it was what was the new name of it?
It could potentially be under the guise of the Gypsy Queen.
Again, we don't see a lot of ships through here, or sailors, unless they're passing through over to the coast north. Stilkar, on the other hand, we do see quite a lot of. He is one of the more involved bureaucrats here in the city. Has been for about 30, 40 years now. You say
How does-
he has come into possession of your ship. How's that?
Well,
Or why?
good question. It was mine. He took it. Now it's in his possession.
Karen's a very wealthy and connected man. Why would he want your ship? He has plenty of them.
I think it was a little bit more about the crew than just the ship.
Why are you?
Without a crew,
Is the crew important? Somehow?
necessarily, but well,
To me, but
Unfortunately, there are
You
some
mean
things that we aren't exactly privy to. We are not sure why he wanted the ship specifically, but went far enough to acquire it in a on the table kind of way, and he doesn't always need to do that. Changing the name, the underhandedness of it all means there's something he wants out of this that he doesn't want to.
Well, no one's going to advertise a ship they just stole. I would do the same. I'm afraid I can't really help you in re-securing a stolen ship going under a different name. Stilkar, I think I might be able to give some information. At least that's what Mattis is telling me, asking me to do. He was an old friend from when we were schoolboys. We still keep in touch. It's a bit of a shame to see him get pushed out of the city the way that he was. I wasn't in favor of that. Wasn't quite fair. Silkai is the one that pushed him out, if he didn't tell you. Rather smoothly done altogether.
smooth how?
Oh well. Silkar brought about, presented to the Open City Council a new legislature on increasing taxes to some of the more ancient and well-established noble families and their businesses in the city. This being a prior monarchy before they decided to become a vassal state. Most of the wealthy business owners and government officials are former noble families. They wanted to. He presented an increase in their taxes and shares and such. They were not happy, naturally. Mathis decided to be the one to speak up and represent the noble faction, we'll say. About a week later, lenders came in asking for final payments on debts to his real estate and his business. People stopped buying their wares. No one can prove anyone did it, of course, but this isn't the first time that there's been some quiet strong-arming in order to get what someone wants in terms of bureaucracy. Before long, all Mathis had was his immediate assets of his family home and a job posting out in Cold in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. He was
Let
pushed
me
out,
get this
in layman's
straight.
terms. His debts were called into due, and he had no choice but to leave if he wanted to retain some dignity and wealth.
Sounds very curious.
Sounds like you created the debts to force him out.
Oh no, Mathis had debts aplenty. He was an avid gambler and a drinker. The problem is that when those lenders, once trusted and well reputable, come calling us suddenly whenever someone buys those debts from them, someone less patient and more maliciously inclined is to getting what they want.
Can I ask for clarification on what was just told? Specifically,
Essentially, they're saying that Workton was pushed out because he had loans and debts. People went to his creditors, bought the debts, and then went to him and said, "Hey, I have slips that you owe X amount of money. Pay it tomorrow." When
okay.
before
And then
it was like a mortgage.
the reason for that happening was because he supported
He opposed a new bill essentially being proposed by Lord Carrion that would have actively punished noble families, of which Mathis is one of them. So he said, "Hey, you're trying to target us with all of these unfair taxes. Don't do that." And then things happened in the background. Happened in the background,
like,
and all of a
both
sudden he was like, "Hey, you need to leave, or you're gonna be bankrupt and on the streets."
Yeah, I was just trying to understand the conflict that led up to that. That's all.
It was he opposed something that Lord
Oh.
Carrion wanted,
And that's all it takes.
and there's and he kind of Corbin kind of like looks at you. Yes, it's very familiar with doing things around, behind the curtain, as it were.
Well,
No one can prove it. It was very well done from a professional point of view.
What's he like in front of the curtain?
It's very observant, very charismatic. Kind of gives off the impression of like a kind old grandfather. It's hard to explain. I
People
haven't
like
dealt
him
with him very
by default, do you
much.
think?
No one likes a bureaucrat by default or even on purpose.
No, but they like kind old grandpas.
I think the bureaucrat aspect of it kind of ruins the grandpa.
He is not the most social of people. He doesn't attend parties, or feasts, or galas, or anything like that. No. But he does. When he does show up, it certainly leaves an impression.
Certainly sounds like a ne'er-do-well.
He
Oh,
sounds
not at
like
all.
a show-off.
At least on the surface. I wouldn't be surprised if he had fingers in pockets all over the country, all over the kingdoms and across and so forth.
So what you're
I
telling
believe
me
he has quite a
is-
bit of money coming over from the Dominion, but that's his own business.
So what you're trying to get at is getting what you want from Lord Carrion is rather difficult.
Oh, not at all. If anything, he's very easy to get aid and things from. It's what he asks in return that can be a bit galling.
Right.
Not to say that people do not end up quite profitable from those deals. He has money in schools and orphanages and
Doesn't necessarily
community
mean
programs
they're
throughout the
better
lower
off.
slabs. They certainly seem that way.
Money does a lot, but at the end of the day, if you got a hole in your chest, you still have a hole in
Money
your chest.
excuses a
$1 million.
lot.
Very true. Get past a lot of things with coin. I already had a new assistant.
Not that I'm aware of.
New protege.
Not that I'm aware of. He has his entourage of people that work for him, yes, but They've been the same 3, 4 for the last several years.
Do these rapscallions frequent the many patronages of this fair city?
I'm afraid I'm not very
are
well
there-
versed in Carrion's people or what they do. I do know that he is managing some of the vaccination distribution up at the Seat of Devotion every 4 week.
Listen, we're just trying to get this ship back, whether it's through Lord Carrion or otherwise, but he's our next best step here. We just need to get a little information. Doesn't matter if it's from him, but something that puts us closer to our goal, and we think that probably gonna be him. So what is
Well,
the
it's
best
gonna be
way
very
to get close
difficult. It's difficult to get information from Lord Carrion except from him himself, as you are saying. Now, Marcus has asked me to try and give you information and aid you and sponsor you for some reason. I don't know why he has such faith in you in that regard, but what are you looking for? What do you, for old time's sake and we'll say an old friendship that I owe to Mathis, what is it that you are requiring and asking of me?
All we know is he wants his boat. We want it, and if he doesn't have it, it'll be inconvenience to Carrion, and maybe along the way, it could make Carrion's life a little harder.
Do you know where he keeps his ships?
At the docks.
Sorry.
This is a mountain city. I'm afraid you won't
We're
find any
just
ships
looking
within
for
100
the right
miles.
direction.
Yeah.
And if we get to know any bit of what Lord Carrion knows possibly about this ship, the better. I'm not entirely sure what that looks like, to be honest with you. But you know him a lot better than we do, and that's saying something.
And if we need to get in good faith to get that information, or you need some time, if there's anything that might disrupt Lord Carrion, we'd be happy to aid in that. Everything's a transaction.
Doesn't have to be.
No, everything's a transaction.
So we'll say you're looking for, well, are you trying to meet him? Are you trying to do things without meeting him?
If we can, without meeting him, sure, but if we have to meet him, we'll do it. We just need his confirmation that the ship is in his possession, and if it's not, where is it?
Yeah, can we explore both options?
Certainly. Are any of you known to Lord Carrion?
I don't think
I
we'll be
l-
able to start Bellamy. Maybe.
Potentially myself. It is my ship.
I look a bit different since last time I met him, but we've spoken a few
So,
times.
so you
You
do know.
met
How do you know him?
Yeah, wait, hold up. What the fuck did you meet him?
I know
Miro,
you had some personal grievances with him.
you haven't thought to maybe mention that since we boated all the way over here?
I told you I had personal grievances. You think I got that from a distance?
You said personal grievances, but not with Lord Carrion, the man we've been looking for.
I'm gonna have personal grievances with you if you don't start speaking.
I'm sorry, this is not
He
appropriate.
he took advantage of me when I was low on my ears.
Again, we're gonna get into this later, but not right now.
Wasn't like I was hiding it.
Not telling
That
them
was
is
Really
being quiet.
trying me.
Why are you making a big deal of this?
As you're like talking, you look over to Corbin Voss, and he's like leaned back in his chair with crackers, just like, this is fun.
But anyway, you
The
came to me when
guidance
I
was
was
given to
low on
me,
my
by the way.
I know, because you didn't go Mirgash, you went Era. Well, to answer your question, came at me when I was low on my heels.
What do you mean took advantage? What did you do?
You know that cure he's giving out to people at the city to help with that disease?
No.
We talking about I helped develop it.
Okay, what did he promise you in return?
What?
Oh, I'll pull down my sleeve and you see the gnarly scars kind of hidden.
He cut you. He promised to cut you, and you went and gave people poison. What is happening right now?
No. I didn't ask for this. I did all the work.
Right.
It was
So,
the
Mirgash, since you know Lord Carrion, why don't you continue? I'm gonna excuse myself for a moment.
Alright.
She'll just kind of excuse herself for a second and like go out into the hall or something.
Sure.
I don't know what's going on with that. But alright. But yeah, I helped the development of the cure, and it's not as heavily being distributed as I would have liked. I helped with the trade deal to get the resources for it. And my things was my current affliction. He probably thinks I'm dead.
Is he still eating crackers?
I'm also talking to him.
He's got a nice little brie and cracker spray going on.
Yeah, I'm also saying this to him.
Crazy.
Next question. But there's
So-
a good chance I might not recognize him.
So the two options we're talking about. Let's say we want to meet him. What does that look like?
That will take, well, becoming people worth meeting. What skills do you have? Are you entrepreneurs, merchants, traders?
I don't know. Let's say we're world famous.
World famous. Well, that'll take some doing because I've never heard of you until 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
Let's speak in
we're
hypothetical then.
Aim lower.
The reason why your friend had to faith in us is because we dealt with a issue that was attacking traders, vile creatures. If you heard about the monsters that appeared earlier in the city the other day, we were the ones who quelled that before too many people got hurt.
I did hear about that, yes. I was actually on the way to peruse some of my own wares that were on sale there.
Well, we're the ones who made sure that the situation was contained and dealt with quickly. By the time we were done, the guards just arrived.
And you kind of hear like a small and you see like Sergeant Callan over in the corner just.
Oh yeah, he was late.
Okay,
Really
we
fucking
don't
late.
we don't need to rub it
I'm just gonna look back and like,
Kind of just like smirking at you.
It's like he knows what we're doing.
So, problem solvers. Might be able to work with that. What kind of problem solvers? Are they problems that are public or discreet?
We can do both.
Yeah, I can do both.
Not, we have some of our other friends looking into some things, but we can do things quiet,
Yeah.
loud,
If
subtle, rash, whatever you may need. It's good to have a
if we were to spin this yarn, we could also tackle it from the perspective of since no, maybe since the common man has not heard our names, that goes to show we're able to complete a job with the finesse and aptitude needed to keep information quiet. Quiet. Yes. Not smiling. Not smiling. Yes.
We did just kill a bunch of fanatics too. That's pretty fun. They're fucking weird, man. This dude's got a problem.
I mean, people living in sewers are quite unhinged.
You know what else is unhinged?
I
No.
think that there's maybe
Doors. Broken
two
doors.
things. Is this all of you? Are you all? This is your party, as it were.
we have two more. They're getting they're picking something up for themselves.
In terms of getting immediate results and more immediate introductions, as I think that you are looking for, whether it's to people close to Carrion or him himself, is that correct? You want to get closer to him in some regard.
Listen to the
You
information.
need in this city. There are two factions, as it were. We have House of Logic, primarily ran and governed by former noble families, merchants, traders, things of the like. And then we have the Seat of Devotion at the top of the city, which is some traders and bureaucrats, but is largely populated by the faithful. Most of which can also be nobles and merchants and the such. But it is an adherence to theocratic law and religious law versus we'll say old world, grim hall tradition. The new versus the old. Traditionalists and progressives. I, obviously, am not up at the Seat of Devotion, so I prefer things how they were before we became a vassal state. Any introductions to anyone will require you to be able to present a service of some kind. Usually, in these circles, it is political experience, trade deals, things of that nature. You all have none of those things, so you have to choose a different service. Your service can be known, or it can be, say, whispered. Do you have a preference? Either we can go about a route that is more public, or one that is less so.
The one that is less public, does this mean doing things under the table?
That depends. I will say this. Being public brings about more immediate meetings, but it also means that you are going to be, we'll say, at the mercy of more. We'll say the entirety of the House of Logic. Or just me, in which things stay a little bit more under the table.
Bren, with how I know Lord Carrion, if he would need a job done, would he prefer people who are well known or people who are on like a little bit of down low? Would he prefer?
You've seen all the above, and at some point, sometimes there seems to be no rhyme, reason, or pattern to any connections or deals he makes. Above board, you have two options. You can try and go about making connections and getting information publicly. Obviously, that will put you into more meetings with more people, which can ask you to do more things. So essentially, I want to work for the entirety of the House of Logic above the table, or I want to work for just you under the table. So, personal connection and dealing versus faction connection dealing.
Faction feels like it has more weight. So let's say we choose to pick you. How does your sway compare to the power of having one of these old councils behind us?
Different services can provide different things for different people depending on people's different needs. This is a house of bureaucrats. There's a great many of things that happen outside the spotlight.
And there's a good
Things
chance
that
that
people need.
and we don't know exactly sure who's going to be more aligned with our objective. So we'll need to be careful about what connections we make. At least we know our friend here is a bit more knowing about what Lord Carrion is like.
There's a quiet knock on the door. Sergeant Kellen kind of gets up from his post and kind of walks the long 100 feet over to the large doors on the other side of the room.
Yep.
Kind of
This is like
peeks
an
out.
apartment for an office, essentially.
It's housed like an apartment too. And opens the door, and you see Uriel and Glimmer.
Would you excuse us for a
Um,
second so we can talk to them?
Certainly.
Take Miragash and Gorodai.
Is Violet outside with the okay.
Uriel?
All
Alright.
6 of you are together again.
So,
Alright, we got-
the long and short of it is, we can make a name for ourselves in the city, become a public figure, if you will, or we can do things under the table, deal with this guy, solely him.
Under the table.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking too.
I think the opposite serve us better, but I understand if I stand alone in that sentiment.
Usually I would be with Uriel in this case, but because it's this city with Lord Carrion, he has a lot of eyes and ears, and if they get suspicious about what we're trying to do, we might have a bit of a harder time.
I think the more publicly and more widespread and obviously we are known and seen and heard, the harder it will be to sneak us out the back door. like a friend.
Here's my thing. I think the more hidden we are, the easier it is it's for us to leave without them noticing in case something goes awry. If something goes wrong with with anyone that we come in contact to, it's a lot easier to just leave the city than deal with them.
And if we're hidden, it's hard to make us a scapegoat. If we're in the view, look, this group did that. Here's their faces. Here are their names. And now, if we go anywhere that's connected to Carrion, we're going to be in a bit of a jam. But if we're hidden, they try to use us as that we can slip away, and they won't have enough to put more than a badly drawn poster of us.
I
Lot of
would rather
risks
keep.
and benefits to any of them. I don't want
We
to
hear-
check on your connection, but if you're doing things under the table, it's also very easy to be suspicious and aggressive to people that aren't known.
What were you to say about it?
Wait,
We
what do you
hear
mean?
from-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. I want you to give some clarification if you did. Go ahead.
What do you mean, Ren? Like, people can be more... Because if we're on the table, people can be essentially ruder, more aggressive with us, because we don't...
Hey, it's like, hey, you're known under the table as spies, as thieves, as back alley wet works people, versus, oh, you're those adventurers that go about helping the town city. There's a lot of risks and benefits to either. Just because one is
High risk,
public
high
and one
reward.
isn't doesn't mean just because one is public doesn't mean you're in more danger or less danger than if you're not.
It's different kind of danger.
Different kinds of danger.
Then, if we do things above table, then possibly more allies. That can lead to our name being useful in other places.
We don't even
Might
have
be
a group name yet.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta figure that out. I select the omens.
We do. Yeah, we do.
What
I
is
saw
it?
It's
No, we're not
it's,
being
it's
Uriel.
Uriel and
You're
Co.
yelling up.
It's Uriel and Company. That's
You're
what it
yelling
is.
up.
Until
I
someone
select-
says it's something else, that's what it is. Bye bye.
It's Ray's favorite in company. That's what it is.
I select the
We'll discuss later.
It might
So it
always
sounds
sound
like there's
long.
more votes for skullduggery and sneakiness. Violet, what were you saying?
What?
You were talking earlier, and then someone, I think I cut you off.
Oh, I don't even remember what I was saying.
But what's your opinion on what what avenue? Because I think I'm leaning with Uriel a little bit. But it might help us along to be known. There's
I'm just gonna be Violet and also not Mirror Gash's, I'm sorry, Goradai's vote. For whether you want to be above the table or under the table in our business.
I think normally I would want to stay above the table, but I'd rather keep as few eyes on me as possible. So under the table.
Goradai, what do you think?
Well, I kind of think it might be safer, you could say, to kind of stay out of the limelight. One might say. Yeah, I think considering since the first time I met most of you, all of you actually, you were saving Glimmer, was it? Glimmer,
Yep.
did I get that right? Yay!
Mhm.
Yay, friend. Yeah, she was she was nailed to a table. I'll be honest. I'll just say it out loud. I'll just say it plain.
Yeah.
Plank. I don't think being
I think after seeing our
broadcasting-
friendly people by the city, I really just
But,
don't
I'm-
care.
I'm just saying it might attract more ill components of the city if we're openly I don't know. I didn't. I'd
What
call-
what's that are you doing?
Gordai, is it physically hurting you not to laugh right now?
Yes.
You can
I'm
laugh,
trying. I'm
it's
trying to
just
keep up
us.
appearance.
It's okay.
Is it just
No,
us?
it's not okay. It is not okay.
Respect
Just
the
us.
effort.
Nope.
Yeah,
I hope you continue to put forth that effort.
You,
We
you can
respect
kind of
the
just see like his eye twitching and like he's like covering his mouth, trying not to just like
Yeah,
he's
he's
trying
doing that.
very hard.
We'll get
You're
you.
doing
We'll get you a room later where you can let it all out. But it sounds like
Get
you
an
want to
echo chamber.
Yeah.
No, I kind of like that. You,
What
if you
what
wanna
is
know
what is Gorodai's answer?
I would prefer under the table.
Okay. So
Or
we
yeah,
So we
got
got
that's
two
kinda what-
above the table, two under the table?
four to
Or
Yeah.
four.
five
right.
to one. I think.
No,
'cause
it's 4-2 because Miragash and Uriel are together.
Oh, you want to be above the table? I thought you wanted to be under.
I'm leaning a bit both ways. You know, there's a lot of benefit. Above the table is a bit more fame, but I do see all your points. I'm alright with being on the table.
Really? That's what you think? Just it's surprising.
I've been doing things on the table for a long time, but
Why now?
I don't want to feel like I'm high. But it makes no real difference to me. The preference is only a little lean to that.
Let me say this real quick, right? We're here for a day, and one of us were kidnapped right from under our noses and pinned to a board,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I don't
I
know
was
how
there.
much these bureaucrats can keep us safe, but this guy isn't a bureaucrat. And maybe he can help us keep a lower profile.
That's a good idea.
We don't know if this guy can be bought, but we know the other guys can't be bought.
Listen,
Fair
at the
enough.
end of the day, I can swing a Morning Star and be fine, but I can't.
I'm not
I'm
really
not
built
well
to be
versed in the
sneaky.
politics of nobles.
No, don't worry, Uriel. I can make you a bit sneakier if you need.
I'm alright.
Let's take a vote. Yeah?
I think
I'm
you're
unfortunately
right.
like really fucking good at being sneaky.
Oh, we're
I
well,
can't
aware.
understand.
Well
Go ahead.
aware. No, I'm just agreeing
Good.
with you.
All right, Violet. What are you doing?
I already said.
No, say it again.
I'm
What you doing?
I'm gonna do
Going
under
on
the
the table.
table.
Under. Uriel.
Over.
Over. Miro.
Under.
Glimmer.
Under.
Gorodai.
Under. Under.
All right.
I love Steve Hello.
Looks like we're going under, fellas.
And give Bellamy a high five once he hits 5 people.
All right, so we'll talk to him.
So back in.
You all walk back
Crazy.
across this large room to
Give us a second.
Corbin Boss. Kind of looks up from his work. So, what's the over under?
We
Under.
want to work with you.
To
I love
future
being
business then.
To future
Kind of
business.
like holds his glass up,
Tap it with my glass.
and he downs the entire thing in one drink.
Same.
Right.
I'll do this. I'll do the same as if it's a practice movement.
I look around for glasses and I don't find any, so after Violet takes her drink, I just take her cup, look for the liquor, pour myself some, and then.
I think you still have the mug, by the way.
Yes.
Just so you know, you still have the mug.
She takes out the mug, pours herself a second drink, then hands the mug to Melody.
Well, this was going to be distributed by Sergeant Killing, but the city of Grimholm would like to thank and acknowledge you for your assistance in the Copper Court not 2 days ago. As such, it is prerogative, especially in light of this new personal relationship between you all and myself, to give you a small little incentive for our continued work. And he takes a large like burlap sack and throws it across the desk at you, Bellamy. And it kind of slams against your chest, and it is full of coin.
I'm gonna open it. I like a helmet.
Inside, you see.
Does it look
you
like a
see
lot?
Nothing. You see straight platinum.
Ooh.
Mechanically, everyone gets 350 gold pieces.
Yeah, yeah. I'm no
Bird?
longer poor.
As
Actually, can
a-
or actually no, I was just gonna say, you guys can have whatever gold I'm given because I was not a part of that fight.
Shut up, Sam.
Are you sure?
Sam,
Okay.
take the 350. Shut up.
Shut
A
up.
lot.
Yeah, no,
Consider
you.
this a official thank you for aid lended.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Shit, we should get jumped more often.
Don't say
Um,
that.
Not me next.
Alright.
Someone else can go, not me.
Give her a tap on the shoulder like it's okay.
Nose goes.
I pray they come for me.
I hope
I must
this.
say, you all are rather crazy,
I hope this letter finds. you
or rather
before I
mad.
do.
You're just like, oh, I
Good
wish
God.
they fucking would.
If there's nothing else, I suppose we should.
In the future, with work of this kind, meetings are going to be less, well, not exactly in this office, and not exactly with me. It is important that you trust and take at face value the things that are told, at least from those that you know work. Such as Sergeant Kellen here. And he kind of looks over at the sergeant, still kind of like posted up in the corner, his own drink in hand. He kind of just gives you like a small salute. Sergeant Kellen
Damn.
works for Corbin Boss, or at least answers to
Oh.
him.
Good. We made the right choice.
I
So
think
you may receive some communications of some sort from him or one of his men or anyone else that is appropriate.
Good to know.
Alright.
Good to know.
I am working on something, but I have nothing immediately to relate to you. So, at some point within the next week, you will receive a letter. It will ask you to do something. That is all. And we will go from there.
We won't
Well,
If
disappoint.
you require something from me, arrangements can be made. Is
Well.
there anything you all require presently? Being one of the heads of industry in this city does have benefits.
You don't happen to have a means to get to the Tinderrest Forest, like, way east, do you?
Quite easily.
Wait, really?
I did not say massive industry lightly. Caravans and merchant trains come through the city daily. Did he
Glimmer's
use
going to
very-
turn to the rest of the group and not to Corbin Moss.
He's like, by the way, I figured out a way how to get home, or at least where I need to go to get home.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to check that out once we get a minute.
Yeah.
Good.
Let me see. If you are as well connected as you say, might be a long shot even for you, but do you know anyone well versed in the Shadowfell or just multi-dimensional studies, I suppose?
And that is more along with the purview of mages. Those at the Vastet House specialize in such things. They may be able to answer any questions or offer services, but I'm afraid I have no one so specific.
It's enough for me. Anyone else? Or are we good to go?
I think for now, well, any information on the ship from Cross it, of course.
I
That'll
actually
be
do
in
have
the
one more
future.
question. Do you know of someone who could maybe make this item, or maybe you already have it? But do you have like pop drops, but for like laughing?
What?
What?
Cough drops,
Why-
but for laughing.
Why
Prevent
ever would we
laughter.
need such a thing?
No, that's not a.
Oh,
There
I
I
thought
are-
you
was,
were
I was
gonna
immediately
say
baffled.
There are some
as soon as Gordai spoke of
medications that deal
Yes.
more in suppressant and tranquilizing. Yes.
Like
Listen,
a-
look,
Tranquilizing's
do
a
you
little
need something
far,
like
but we
that?
might need it.
like a Lexapro, you know?
Are we really
Why
trying
would
to
we need something like
medicate
that?
Mordai right now?
Medicate? That help.
Why? But I'm perfectly healthy. I'm perfectly fine.
All right. We thank you for your time, and we have pleasure doing business. If we have any new questions or things we might need, we will contact you through the appropriate channel.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Likewise.
If there is nothing else.
We'll make our way out.
That means get the fuck out of my room.
Yep.
he's
The
busy.
sergeant downs the last of his drink and right.
What's that called, by the way?
Moment. The drink?
Yeah.
Oh, spicy cinnamon.
Nope. It is. Where'd it go? Shit.
You can DM it to me later.
I will. Fable immediately latched her claws in and said, "You're not moving me."
Honestly, whatever it is, I'm gonna go buy a bottle of it.
Okay.
The sergeant leads you all out of Voss's office and back down through the House of Logic, and before long you are back out in the sunshine and cool fresh air. Probably about maybe 2 in the afternoon at this point. And as you're all going, the sergeant kind of steps to the side. If you all require anything, well, I'll have something arranged so communication can be conversed.
Do you know where I can find an artificer?
Most magical folk and those of that persuasion work in and out of the Vastet House. There may be some private industries down in the Coin District, but true specialists are likely going to be up at the Vastet House. They are the premier specialists in all things Arcana. for the city.
Circling back, you said you had a means of communication?
I will likely be spending the rest of the day arranging that.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. Well,
Can't have you exactly stopping city guard asking to try and talk to me every time you just say something.
oh, but it's so much fun.
Wouldn't
If I may
plan-
bend your ear for one final request, do you know
By
where
all
I
means.
might? Where could I? Where could one procure a telescope?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what a
A
telescope?
to look up at the stars, to peep at the glimmering cosmos.
Did you say glimmer? I'm right here.
Hello.
There may be perhaps some business up in the upper slabs that may make work in glassworks and things of that nature that may be able to provide. It's a bit highbrow for me.
Thank you very much.
Alright, well, we'll be seeing you.
Good luck in your endeavors, and just for a personal interest, let us know how it goes with the thorns.
Oh, I still have that to look forward to, don't I?
Yeah.
He kind of just like sighs deeply
Hey, if you
and just
need
like turns and begins like marching his way back up the stairs into the House of Logic.
I'll just say as he goes, if you need help, you know who to call.
I mean, he doesn't. We don't have a name yet.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
So you all are left out on the steps of the House of Logic with it's sometime in the next week, expecting some sort of correspondence to begin some sort of work.
There.
What all would you like to do?
Like
There's
over the
one-
course of a week or just today, right now?
You have, as what was said was, at some point in the next week, you're gonna get a letter. It's gonna ask you to do something.
Okay.
So for the rest of today, what do you want to do? The city is yours.
I have something. I'm gonna. At one point, I want to pull Uriel aside a little bit, so like talking private. Hey Uriel, I need a favor. Yeah. Come with me for a bit. Oh, don't worry, it ain't not anything that I think you wouldn't approve of.
You need.
Come. And Miragash is gonna lead him. Ren, I'm assuming I know where my parents used to live.
I love how you just glossed right over that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not even gonna try to guess what he thinks I would approve of.
Yeah, Mary, actually, you know where your family lives.
Yeah, so I would just lead Uriel over there. I'm assuming.
Or
it's
is this
not
just you two? What is you bringing everybody? What's going on?
I'm just trying to bring Uriel.
Bye.
Why?
He just looks back like,
Ta-ta!
It's like, should I be ready?
He's not gonna sacrifice.
Holler
me.
if you got an issue. I guess. Bye.
Hey, I'm a delight.
Drinks on me tonight.
Miragash, you're trying to lead Uriel to your old family home.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone else, what are you doing?
Spending money.
Mhm.
Shopping.
As soon as the sergeant is out of earshot and we're all kind of
Yeah, he gone.
alone, Gordai just bursts out laughing. He just drops his whole facade.
I want to pat him on the back.
You did well.
Tell me this is our time to break. Come on. She'll like
I'm
run.
not even wasting time. I'm going with her, bro. I'm like hanging on, like taking me. We're going.
Just bridal style.
Yeah, Bellamy, come on, we're getting the fuck out of here, dog.
On your feet, soldier.
Same
Yeah, on your
energy.
feet, soldier.
On your feet.
We are leaving.
Yeah, no, we are
leaving.
Dimnan. We're gonna go. I don't know, find somewhere to be.
Sounds like people want to go shopping.
Yeah.
I'll take Gordai. He'll be my buddy.
Yeah.
I will eventually get that blight
Um,
book from that bookseller. She's still holding it for me, if I believe.
Which one?
I got a book on history and theories of the blight, and I didn't have money
Yes.
for it before, so I will buy that
Go get
eventually.
it. Go for it.
How much is it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
What
I'll do
Oh,
it.
hang on. I actually, hang on. I bet I can find it though.
Because I did ask to hold it.
See if I can find it.
I love how suspicious Uriel is. Like, can you do me a favor? Just come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it finally time? Do I finally fight Miragash?
I had
Hey, where's
we
Miragash?
had the arcane.
Yeah,
We
tried
had the
it.
arcane grimoire, which
tried
is like a beginner's book for wizards. There's the Golthar's Guide to Magical Flora, which catalogs magical plants and properties useful for herbalists and alchemists. Whispers
that
of the
too.
Underdark. And then the one I can't remember the name of the one that you.
It was like a specific. It was like history and theories of the blight. It explained like where people thought it came
Yes.
from, sightings, stuff like that.
Yes. It was definitely more on theory. I'll say like 5 gold.
Okay, and I also
sorry,
I
go
put the gold in the wrong sheet. Let me put it in the right sheet.
Okay.
So 350 gold. Add. Cool.
And the one on magical flora is 20 gold.
I'll buy
Both,
them
are you
both.
good?
I'm having a silent conversation with Trip.
Oh.
I'll get them both. So I'll just some inventory.
She also
if you-
did have a couple of spell scrolls, but if you're going to the Vastet house, they're gonna have a lot of them.
Oh, wait, that's where you're going?
Above board, well, Miragash he said that with Uriel, he's swinging by the bookstore to grab those books. Above
Yeah, that's
board,
on
in
the
terms
way.
of shopping, specialty shops are going to be strewn throughout the city.
I actually have
Like, hey, a potion maker is going to go here. They're going to have a more diverse specialist selection. But the Vastet house is basically the magic place. They're going to have magical items, magical weapons and armor, as well as information, tomes, spells. They're more of the Costco compared to the little mom and pop shop that are more one focus. So, normal weapons and the like can be found in the sword corridor. Glimmer did give you all access basically to the true inventory of the Fae's Foundry, which is Fae made magical items of some sorts. But so the 4 Violet, Goradai, Glimmer, and Bellamy, what are you all doing? Are you just going shopping? What do you want?
I would like to take Gordai because, in my assumption, Bellamy and Violet dashed off, and so we are standing in front of this House of
Yeah.
Logic.
Well,
Okay.
Gordai, I'm hungry. Let's
Yes.
go find some food. And we should
Okay.
talk. Where are you from?
Funny enough, I actually grew up in the Tyrannos forest. But that was long time ago.
Do you know the highest point in that forest by chance?
Probably not. haven't. How?
Yeah, you were down
yeah,
on like
it's
the
been-
south. You were down
Yeah.
on the southern expanse.
Yeah.
It's not like the true peaks. It's a massive, massive forest. It covers that entire region.
Fuck. Okay.
My-
What were you doing there? Why did you leave? What's the whole deal? Why are you here?
So as actually, he's kind of like formulating a response, and like instead of like kind of like the jovial laughter, he kind of looks pained a bit, like it. I sorry, it. It
If
hurts,
you
it
can't
hurts
tell
to
me-
think about. It hurts.
Okay. Okay. Well, not talk about it then. What are you trying to do? Or like, where are you trying to go? Are you trying to get back home? Do you have a home? How can we help? Because like, I kind of get like
Yeah.
being thrust upon a group of people you don't really know, and you're kind of forced to stick with them because it's your only option. I've been there. I'm still there.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out what happened to my family.
Okay, that's great. When was the last time you saw them?
Almost 20 years ago, I think.
Fuck. Okay. Where was the last time you saw them?
in the forest.
So we
That
need to
was-
go to the forest. This sounds great. Okay, long-term goals, we head to the forest. Perfect.
But yeah, I don't really know what happened. I just know one night. Never mind. Nope.
That sounds really hard. I'm sorry, Gorodai. And I'll like give his hand a squeeze. It's terrible to lose people that you love. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's it's really been sad being alone for so long. But hey, I'm not alone now. I have friends.
We're getting to the friends bit. Allies, yes.
I mean,
I
you
trust
wanna
that
kill
we'll
me?
become friends. I'm gonna
Okay.
kill you. Are you gonna kill me?
No. You are
Good.
nice. I mean, some of the others, they're a little off their rocker. That's okay.
Bellamy and Violet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so straight laced, I see them. March. Especially,
I think they're just normal.
can I have something to eat?
Yeah, let's get you some food.
Thanks. Now, Can
I
you
won't fight.
fly?
So you
What's
know
it
how
like?
like you found me pinned to a table? That's because my wings were out. We don't like to tell people that I'm a fairy.
Ah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're fine. You didn't know. It's cool. It's cool, but I can fly. You'll see later in battle. Probably.
I've never seen a penguin fly.
I'm not a penguin. You take that fucking word out of your mouth.
What do you mean?
I'm a fairy, you bitch. I'm not a penguin. Have you even seen a penguin?
Yeah, and he starts just pointing to people. There.
I'm Glimmer. I'm a fairy. I am not a penguin. Repeat after me. Glimmer is not a penguin.
Glimmer is not a penguin.
Good job. Okay, we'll get you some food now. Good job.
Hey! What do you like to eat?
Please say fish.
Sorry, I didn't think about this in my character. I just
He's like,
what doesn't
Steak.
Ooh, I've never had
Not
that before.
what I would've thought.
We'll get you some meat. Medium rare. It'll be good.
Really? And it won't be smelly? I mean,
It'll
I
smell
never
delicious.
ate all that well.
Come on, buddy. Let's get you some food.
I won't find some sort of establishment like a food truck or a stall. I know food truck, a food cart. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A food cart. I
Sure.
will get him some food.
Yeah, this is a massive city. There's little food stalls and all kinds of stuff all over the place.
I'll get him some skewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think when he gets him, he just like it is the most delicious thing he's ever eaten in his life because he couldn't afford anything. So he is shoveling them down with just like tears of joy.
Moving over to, let's see, Bellamy and Violet. Where are you two going? You're going over to the Vastat house? Going shopping?
That's on period. Yes.
First we're gonna do Uriel and Mirgash.
We're just
Mirgash,
skipping us.
I'm confirming what you're doing.
You see
Well,
losers.
fuck me, I guess.
Yours is
right?
gonna take longer than theirs, okay? Pipe down.
It is?
Mirgash, go ahead and tell us about. Walk us through how you are getting to your old family home, where it is. Give us the tour on the way there.
I think at first, like, Uriel's probably following Mirgash. Mirgash is kind of walking with a little bit of purpose. And then slowly, the conditions of the buildings around us get a little worse and worse until it's clear we're in the slums. There's people just, like, sitting on the street. There's a few beggars. Clearly, like, this is a bad, like, not a good area to be living in. Definitely where, like, when you run out of money, you head here to maybe find some pity among people who are like you. And at one point, you see houses where like they're made of maybe more like wood than stone. Like people like this house is falling apart, and they put it back together the best they could without really knowing how. And then there's like some houses where it's clearly this is their house, but also their shop, and like probably right behind the curtain of the shop is like their bed. And you go to this one shop where like you look at the roof, probably doesn't stop all the rain from coming in. There's kind of a tarp, like these people are down on their luck. And there's like a little sign, and it says McHaven Trinkets. Looks like it's a little faded, but like
I'm gonna stop you a little bit.
oh, okay.
Uriel, as Miragash kind of leads you with purpose through this area of the city, I want you both. What's your passive perceptions?
17.
9.
Okay. Miragash, you see off in one corner as you're kind of watching. You see an older woman kind of just sitting at like the front of an alley with like a blanket or a tarp kind of put over her. Looks like she's either homeless or down on her luck of some sort. And you can see kind of like poking through the blanket and of her clothes, there's this dark, like purplish black, almost like a scab, growing like across her entirety of her chest, and it actually kind of goes out from her body a little bit. And as you kind of keep walking, you see that some of these people walking around have these marks on them. Uriel, even you see a man that walks by you both, going up his neck to the side of his face and kind of covering like a third of his head. There is this dark, like matte blackish purple growth of some sort. It looks like a scab, but it is like covering the entirety
What?
of like it's
Scab.
it is like raised. It is not flat with his skin. It is kind of tumorous, but it looks natural almost. Like it's not just like a fleshy growth. It has hard edges at sharp angles. And it just kind of it still matches with the body, but it's also kind of separating from and going in angles away from the body. Mirigash, you would know this to be the blight. A disease that has found its seat and home in the city, especially among the less fortunate.
I think with every person we pass, Uriel, you see Mirgash looks like he's getting more heated, like more rage being held in. You see, like when he does some of his spells, his nails kind of get a little sharp, and there's like instead of him his like casual walk, it's more stiff, and it's getting worse as we see more people with this.
One moment.
But weirdly, the smile stays on his face.
How long
You ever
has
seen
this-
someone who's like... Oh, go ahead.
How long has this portion of the city been afflicted?
A little more than half a year. We'll say it's gone real bad. This was the affliction I was working on the cure for.
Was?
There is what?
Said he says was? Like you said I was working.
Yeah, I discovered there was a plant, blight, that you can make into a medicine. Fights it off. If you get it soon enough, you can cure it. I made deals with the towns that live a little closer to the blight than anybody should. And then that's kind of when I got stuck in. Seems like my friends did not distribute it the way they promised. Kinda takes off his hat. Stops walking for a second. You know, wanna know one thing I like about you, Uriel? We may have our differences, and we have quite a few of them. But I know with every word you speak, you mean it. I can trust what you say no matter what it is. Puts back on the hat.
Undertow?
Now, I got a second concern to check on now since we're here.
As you're Mirigash, you've turned the corner, and you stand in front of the building that was your home, your family's small little humble business. The building itself looks the same. The wood's a bit more faded. The window's a bit more dirty. The sign over the door is gone.
Are there still trinkets laid out in the front? Like someone's still trying to sell stuff?
No.
No. I'm gonna kind of put my hat down a little bit, and I'm gonna walk over. Is there any indication that they're still here?
As you walk over, there is like a sign like nailed and placed next to the door, so not hanging out into the street. And it says Edgar's Woodworkings. And kind of from where you kind of peek in, and it looks, and you see some of the same counters and kind of display shelves and stuff, but you don't see trinkets. You see, it almost looks like a home goods store. You see, like, woodworking supplies. You see boxes of like nails and screws. You see, small like hand carved toys and things of the like.
I'm gonna just knock on it to like see if I can get whoever, like if there's a person here. And now the smile on Mirgash's face is like seems to be getting bigger, but it looks strained. Like he can't help but smile.
Okay.
Why is Walt laughing?
I was
Why?
looking. Did you ever list your family's name on your Google Doc?
I believe so.
I think so. Oh, here we go. Wait, nope.
We're gonna tell me go, y'all are asses.
I don't think so. Anyway,
Whatever.
you kind of knock on the door. You see from coming out from behind like a small hallway, you see a very like heavy set halfling, big like beer belly, bald head, pretty kind of old, got some liver spots on his head, glasses on the end of like a long like hooked nose. Yes, can I help you? We are open. We are open. I'm come in. And kind of like tries to usher you into his shop. I'm Edgar.
I added at the very bottom, but if you want their names.
Okay. And then I believe you have siblings as well. Put their names on through. My name's Edgar. What are you looking for? What can I help you with? We have repair supplies if you need to fix up anything. I have small pieces of furniture, toys for kids. What can I help you with?
Did I let's see. Is there anything in here that I think my Marius' mother will like? She likes like little doodads and baubles. She likes to craft. So is there anything in here that might be good for that? I'm kind of saying above
For
board.
who?
Mirgash's mother. Is there anything like looks like it'd be helpful for someone who likes to make things?
Looking around, you see like there's some small like I don't want to say trinkets, but there's some small like hand carved like little toys, like very like if you ever seen like the shop section of like a Cracker Barrel, where they have like wooden tops and like Tic Tacs and stuff like that. It's all very simple stuff.
Okay.
They're decently made, but it's all very simple.
His craftsmanship isn't it's pretty good.
Thank
I
you.
do
I'm
have-
very proud of it.
I do have a small question though. I came here to deliver something to the people who used to live here before. Do you know where the McHavens are?
The name sounds familiar. I don't think I know them personally.
You don't know where the people who used to live here are? The last tenants?
Well, I purchased. I rent. Really, I rent this from the city.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
That's real bad. That's a 10.
He seems pretty confused. Nothing that really gives you the impression that he's hiding something.
I really wish I prepared look it up for today. Thank you. You have a very nice shop here.
Thank you.
Excuse me. And Mirgash walks out, and Mirgash looks like he's and weirdly the smile is like looking like it's making like a little too big that it's definitely hurting him to be smiling this big, but he's like hyperventilating. He's like, yeah. Looks like I might not be needing your help today.
This needs to be for your family.
Yeah. I used to send them money whenever I could. My dad's crappy with it. So they usually need a top of the place running. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I didn't think they would lose it. I don't know where they are now.
Well, the first place to look would be around here. Did anyone else know them?
Yeah, my mom used to sell these Tic Tacs, these little trinkets to help them get by. Many people here at least knew what they looked like, or their name once or twice. But they're not here, and this place looks like this. Beginning to feel the worst.
Did you ask, Era, did you ask this guy, what happened to the people you bought this place from? Or, what happened to the people that you speared?
Yeah. Do you know the people who used to live here in the cave-ins? Do you know where they went?
The guy who has this place now says, I don't, the name sounds familiar, but I didn't know him. I rent this space from the city. It was this is a pub. This was this was
he leased it from the government.
This
isn't he didn't buy it from a family. Okay.
Yeah, this was hey, something was foreclosed on, and I mortgage out of here now.
Yeah. That's how it goes. They didn't know anyone else that would have remained here in this area that may have heard where they went off to.
Do I know any family friends, Brent?
You make a perception check to see if you can spot anyone or anything kind of familiar that might be able to give you some information.
Can I give myself guidance?
No.
Okay.
I hate guidance.
Man, 2 10s in a row. Can I use my
10
passive?
No.
Copy of your
That's the other thing I hate. Can I use my passive? Fuck that.
I won't ask again.
10 is what you would need. 10 is what you need. You kind of power walk your way around the street a little bit, trying to find anything that's familiar. You do see off in one corner, you see this old man at a little like food stall. He has like these little like meat skewers that he has over this small little grill that's kind of like built into like a little cart. And he's like taking some spice and he's like dusting it over these kebabs as he's like lightly spinning them on there. And he looks familiar, and because this guy has been manning this corner for as long as you can remember.
I'll head over to him. Do I know his name?
His name is Harland.
Old man Harlan. It's been a long time.
Huh?
That's right. Harlan, hey, over here.
Do I know you?
Let's
You want
do
some?
something.
You want some meat sticks? And he like holds out these kebabs with, like, just like this. It's not like multiple like cuts of meat. It's a solid piece of meat that's like stabbed on this kebab stick multiple times. And they give off like a pretty decent smell. And he just kind of has like 3 in each hand, like waving them at you. You want some meat sticks?
Tell you what. Do I know how much these cost? Does he?
These like a copper a piece.
Tell you what. I'll buy all 3. If you can answer a question.
Okay.
Hey, do you remember the McHavens that used to live over there?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
nice folk. Yeah.
Do you know where they went? You know where they are?
Oh, they've been gone for a couple of years now.
Years? That can be right.
Yeah, like 4 or 5. It's been a while. Real
Right.
sad.
Wasn't that how long my apprenticeship lasts for?
Your appendicitis?
My apprenticeship.
I don't know. This is what he's saying.
That doesn't make any sense. What happened?
Well, I think like they had their some of their kids out like working those big like government jobs, and one day they weren't able to. I don't know whether it was pay their taxes or they just decided to move up and go somewhere else. I don't know. They packed up and they left. They've been gone for a couple of years now.
Do you know anybody that would know where they went?
I think like Muriel might have known, but she died like a year ago. She got kind of like scratches at his shirt, and you can see on like his torso, probably about like half of his chest is covered in this bark like material.
Oh, and he's selling food? And he's scratching at it while putting on. Okay. Thank you. I'll put down a lot of money for these guys is the silver, so I'll just give this guy 2 silver. And I'll put my hand on his shoulder. Thank you for the hope. And while I'm touching him, I know this is a blight-related disease.
Yeah.
Can I take the blight from him?
How?
I want to. If there's blight magic or the presence of the blight, can I absorb it?
You might be able to even attempt that under a very controlled environment, just randomly on a guy in the street, just like that. No. You've never encountered it like this. You've seen it, but it was never to the extent that you remember.
Hey, Harlan, I see you got a bit of the stiffness.
Yeah, a couple years now. They give out medicine up at the Seat of Devotion, up in the fancy part of the city. It helps.
You know, I have might have a help for that. Haven't had a chance to test it yet, but if you might be able to ease that.
Okay. What does that mean?
Might be able to help you get rid of some of that. I was actually one of the people that helped make the original medicine.
Oh, you're one of them. You're one of them. One of those government folks. You.
Nah, freelancer. They needed some help with the ingredients.
Oh. Make a persuasion check.
Another 10. What's with my 10s today?
I get medicine every now and then when I can make my way up to the top of the city. You know,
were you,
I mean, I have to get there early so they don't run out. But
Help this man!
I'm trying.
Help this world, man!
I'm gonna look at Uriel who's been listening, and I'm like, you wanna help me? Like help me out with this? I'm like,
What are we? You're just trying to get him to like talk to you, or what?
No, I'm trying to get him to let me try this thing to cure it.
Ah. What are you gonna try? What are you gonna try to do?
Uriel doesn't know that. You can move me inside if you want.
And I don't know why. I don't know how I'm helping you if I don't know what you're doing.
Alright. Well, if you change your mind and you see me around, ask. But I might be able to do a bit better job than medicine is doing.
okay.
Alright. Now I'll just tap the gold I gave him on the desk. Sorry, the silver. Don't spend it all in one place. And I'll walk away. I'm not gonna hound him because then that gets a bit much.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk over to Uriel, and again my smile is now getting looks like a bit painful. Tell me this is not adding up. And if fears I've been lied to more than I thought.
By whom?
Lorcarian.
Oh,
well,
I guess it's fate then. Our paths shouldn't cross.
I didn't know they had more kids. Damn fools.
There are not a lot of struggles that the everyday man has that I can relate to. I was very fortunate growing up. I was well taken care of for the majority of my life. But family issues, that I can relate to.
You know, Uriel. You'd have liked them. They, despite their bad luck, despite living there, and I'll point at the old shop. Just give me meals to feed the kid. You'll probably never meet a more faithful pair.
Forward to meeting them.
If they're not dead.
I don't think so.
I appreciate your optimism, Uriel. Optimism, Danny.
Oh, you said autism.
Optimism.
Not everything is about you, Danny. Sorry.
So true.
Sorry, that was flagrant. Sorry. That was funny, but I love you.
But there's a reason I ain't as grateful as you. Let's get back. There's nothing for us here. Let's look at the people with the blight as we walk by. When we walk by, can I close my eyes? I want to see if I can feel the blight in this area. Like, is this place being corrupted by the disease? I can roll Arcana.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, okay. $16.
16. It's like a sulfur rotten egg like stench that permeates this block. You're not able to connect to anything larger than like maybe 100 feet around you. And it's no specific like, hey, that's a person that is infected. Hey, that's a person who's infected. It is just a hanging cloud over this area you're in. It's not specific, it's not pinpoint. You've never connected with this before. So it's hard to do so in a way like this.
Do I know what happens to someone if they get fully covered by whatever this is? Okay. Alright, then I just will walk back to town, and Mirgash looks not good.
Valid.
The angry smile on his face.
Moment. Okay. Bellamy and Violet. Where you going?
So the thing about that is we're actually going to the, how's this said? Vasted house?
The Vastet house.
I'm not telling Bellamy this. That's the place with all the magic and shit, right? The mages? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I'm not keeping him, but I'm not telling him either. I'm just kind of like keeping us moving. And then we end up there, kind of deal.
Oh, I'm being carried right now. So
Oh, no. I was joking, but
I know.
hey.
Okay. As you are traveling, making your way up the city, the Vastet house is set upon this small little outcropping in the mountain. It kind of stands alone. And almost from everything that you've kind of heard described, you're expecting this like gloomy house with these very arcane, quiet people, and it looks like a carnival as you walk up. It is a bright, almost like this burgundy colored building of wood and heavy stone with large glass windows on all of the walls, kind of looking in. It has these brightly different colored ribbons that kind of go between like these pillars that keep the roof up. It almost has like this wraparound porch style build. And these ribbons kind of go down on like large, almost like on these large poles that are probably like 20 feet tall above you. So you're almost walking up this little path of ribbons, making your way up. As you go, you can see some people in very fine clothes walking back down into the city itself. Some people look like they're either students of some kind or wealthy business people of some sort. But as you enter the Vastet house itself, you are greeted by a kind of a shorter woman, maybe like 5'3", 5'4", dark, like chocolate-colored skin, bald head. She's very thin, and she has this dark blue kind of mantle on her that goes all the way down to her ankles. Seeing you all kind of enter, just welcome. Are you first-time customers?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yup.
Well, welcome to the Vastet house. I hope that you can find anything that you are looking for. Potions, scrolls, books, and those of the like will be on the top floor above us there. And she kind of points to this large winding staircase up to the side of the room. Anything of the more martial sort you will find in the back. And points deeper into the building. And there's a large number of any sort of magical trinkets and oddities that may pique your interest. If you have any questions, please give someone a wave and we'll be happy to assist you.
Thank you.
Yep.
And,
As you walk in, this place is like truly like a magical Costco. It is very much a magical shop that is not only intended for adventurers and the like, but for the public. You see there is like a set of like a quill and inkwell, like a quill that will never break with an inkwell that will never run out. You see small little things to help that will be like, this necklace always gives you this scent of pleasant perfume and things of that nature. What are you looking for? Where are you going for? Are you looking for potions, looking for like weapons, wondrous items? Give me a direction.
Look, I'm looking for the cat we keep hearing. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, literally. Her. I'm her biggest fan. God.
Just like that, baby. The thumbnail job's so easy.
Let's go.
She screams at me until I put her on my lap.
Yeah. I am
What are you going for?
looking for basically like any areas of study or even just like areas of study that like would be akin to like my understanding of magic as a paladin.
So mundane books,
Mundane books.
non-magical, just books.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, for now.
Okay.
I just assumed they would have books. I didn't.
Yeah, they do. They do. They also have a shit ton of magic items, and then you asked for, I want a book. So, I apologize for needing
Goal of
clarification.
mine. I'm sorry.
So looking for divine-based magics, essentially.
Yeah, kind of.
Or
Even if I had to narrow it down, like basically like my understanding of like paladin oaths and like how the magic is derived from those oaths. Like if it was like Paladins for Dummies 101, that's what I'm looking for.
Sure. Make a investigation check.
All
Bellamy, what are you looking for?
Oh, -1. I don't know if Bellamy's looking for anything, but
Place is full of
since
stuff.
I dragged you here.
Looking
Did I
around,
get a
you
0?
see.
I need an adult.
Animal needs.
I need an adult. Oh! You did not just throw your cat across the room.
We've seen you.
I did.
We've seen you abuse Bear. All right, Danny. I don't know. All right.
Hey,
I did
Bear
throw her
can
across. She
take
needs to
it.
fuck off.
Bear's a chunkalunk.
Yeah, look at yeah, for Bellamy, you see swords, spears, daggers, racks full of armor. You see sets of rings and necklaces. You see books. You see
I'm going to the shiny things.
potions, and there's a lot of shiny things.
Well, I'm
Um,
taking Bellamy
Rings.
with me.
Trinkets.
Wherever I'm
Violet,
going.
Violet, you are overwhelmed
I'm being
and
dragged.
overstimulated. You make your way over to this little corner where there's a bunch of books, and you're just, and you're not quite able to really identify anything right now.
Okay. Am I having a panic attack?
Sure.
Sure.
So this place has a set inventory. It does. It's got a lot of stuff. Also. As you're walking, you see a small tiefling girl walk up to you all. She is wearing that same like dark blue, like scholarly robes. She has this kind of light, almost like a baby blue skin, with black hair and this tight bun with these horns that kind of go up and then like almost like frame this little bun of hair on her head. She has bright like purple eyes that are almost pinkish and kind of looks at you.
Very
Hello.
nice.
Can I help you? You seem lost and confused.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just coming off the heels of being outside. I'm looking for some just regular books, really regarding the type of fighter that, or the type of
Books.
is paladin a thing in this world? Like, is that like understood
Yeah.
as like a fighting?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just explain that what I'm looking for.
All this and you want
Um,
books?
Certainly. We have a large number of different tomes. Are you looking for something more instructive, something more theoretical?
An introductory to, like, let's say I didn't know anything about being a paladin, which I know I do, but
Okay.
let's say that's what I want to learn.
I think I should be able to find a couple of things that interest you. I don't have anyone here in person that would have such experiences. I do know that there's a number of people that identify as such up in the Seat of Devotion, in service to the Trium. But I believe I can find a couple of tomes here somewhere. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. And is there a quieter area you might recommend around here?
Outside.
Outside. Got
I'm
it.
sorry, that sounded rude. We have a porch there that overlooks the city a little bit.
Okay.
That would probably be the quietest part of this city.
Thank you. Belmila?
Is anything else I can help you to? If there is anything in which that you are looking for in interest of purchasing or perusing, we have a great many of potions, clothing, apparel of certain enchantments and the like. We have enchanted rings and weapons and armor. You seem the martial type.
Yeah, I am, to an extent, and I think I will be interested in that a little bit later.
And you, sir?
Yeah, magic shiny things, please.
That's this entire store. Please be more
Uh,
specific.
You see what I'm talking about?
Trinkets, rings, bubbles. I'm not really sure how this stuff works.
Small things.
Yeah.
Get him a ring. He's real sneaky. I guess. A ring or
You
two?
may find things that are of your interest through that little doorway, then take a right.
Okay. Thank you.
This kind of like teenager really walks away for a moment. I need to mute these because that's getting on my nerves.
Get on my
Kind of
nerves
walks.
too, actually.
Just that noise is just. Walks away for a little bit. About maybe like 10-15 minutes goes by, and Violet, she does return. She has 2 tomes with her. They are unmarked. They don't have titles or anything on these like leather backings. This one is, what's a way to explain it? A bit of a first-hand account, a memoir of a man who served the Trium about 100 years ago. He was a paladin of Kelkanesh. It goes over many of the trials and introductory lessons, I suppose, of his own path. And then this one is a little bit more of theory of like the derivative of power and things of that
Theory.
nature.
I'm sorry, I just heard your Siri go off after you said the word theory, and that was so funny.
Would you be interested in any of these?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
There's no such thing as really a instructive how to be a paladin. That's more of like a one-on-one instructor thing.
I'm trying to find something that would help someone understand the way one kind of person does magic.
Yeah. So
And
that is the
branch
second.
off
That
from
is the
there.
latter of those two. This is more of a book of theory of like what is like this, like where does this power come from?
I like
Why
that.
do certain people like deviate to certain routes that
Yeah.
manifest in certain ways? Is it into service to a person, to a thing? It's more theory.
Mhm.
So that would be the second. The first one was more like a memoir of like, here's this paladin who lived 100 years ago, and here's his life story.
Oh, I'll save that one for me. But I'm going to give the other one to Bellamy. Like I think we're like sitting down somewhere or whatever, but I'll just like slide it over to him and I'll say, I know the whole magic thing is real weird. I can see it on your face. I mean,
What do I do with this?
I think if you can understand how one person does magic, you can kind of get the sense for anyone. And there's no use in being afraid of it.
Not. Well, maybe I'm afraid. Marigash did conjure up some pretty scary scarecrows.
Yeah, and I can also mend wounds. I mean,
That is
it's
nice.
magic is strange, yeah, and I really couldn't explain to you exactly how me or Miragash do it, but it is real, and it can be good, bad, or something in between. We all fear
Okay.
things we're not familiar with. I mean, I think if you seek to understand it, you might feel a little bit more at ease around it. Doesn't mean Miragash's whole kit and caboodle is acceptable, but yeah, kit and caboodle. But it just like magic, a knife can be used to kill or to cut bread. It can be used to kill or to feed. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
It
those
depends on who's
scarecrows ate
using it.
well. I know what you're saying. I get you picking up, and I appreciate the gesture. I'll look. I will do my due diligence.
So, go ahead.
Bellamy, did you go look at a bunch of magic items?
Yeah, I'm picking up the first shiny thing I see and putting it on my finger.
Roll a d20.
2.
Did he get up or something? I
It's
don't
immediately cursed.
He's been around like shopping as well. He hasn't just been on the hip the entire time.
Oh. I just
And for the other 4 members of the party, you are aware of where these 2 are going, so you can make your way to the Vastet house as well if you want to do some magical item shopping.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
You can also, and keep in mind, you can also get Fey made items from a Fey in Sword Quarter. A 2, you pick up a small, it almost looks like a necklace at first. But it is this hollow, like platinum little tube with a little cylinder. It's about like maybe 4 or 5 inches long. It has like an open hole on the end of it, and you kind of like wave it around. It kind of gives a little musical tone a little bit. This is a chime of opening. A chime of opening. As an action, you can point it at an object within 120 feet of you that can be opened, such as a door, lock, or lid. The chime issues a clear tone, and it unlocks.
oh,
I'm gonna toss the pack and pick up another one.
Roll d20.
5.
This one, it is a necklace. It is a very like fine like steel like chain, and at the end of it, let me actually, rather than just talking out my ass, there might be a picture of it, so I actually know what I'm describing. Yeah, it is this fine like gold looking chain. Every couple of inches or so, there's a little bead of like a ruby or some sort. And at the end of the necklace, there's like a gilded, like tiny little like golden skull with like red gems in the eyes. This is a medallion of thoughts.
Thoughts. Oh, like GH.
Thoughts. I don't know.
It has
Put it on,
5
I'll start playing
charges.
with
It has 5 charges. You can expend a charge to cast Detect Thoughts.
that one is the dangerous one.
Okay, put it down. Pick another one.
That might reignite shielding.
Bellamy's literally just going like picking shit up, putting it on, seeing what it does, and then like taking it off. That's what he's doing.
You can't just picking things up and putting them on is not gonna activate any magical item ever.
I don't know that.
I will say the remainder of the party can arrive at the Vastet house, if they so choose,
Oh. Okay.
for the sake of simplicity.
Ooh, what is all this? Go ahead, Trent. Do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. When you use Detect Thoughts, does the person using it on know it's being used on them?
There's 2 answers. You can
Okay.
cast it, and then you immediately get their surface level thoughts, and they do not know. They don't make a save. You just get to know their surface level thoughts, but it's not very specific. But you can then use an action to delve into their thoughts while that effect is active. They will make a saving throw, and then you get to look for something. You get to truly look through their thoughts. If they succeed, they will know that you're doing it. Actually, they know no matter what if you activate it, I believe.
Okay.
So you could say, I want the bare minimum, and they don't get to know, or I want something specific, and they're going to know.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm going to pick up one of the item and then give someone else a chance. And then after that, I do want to go and talk to like a weapon person and see if they can upgrade what I have, clean it. I don't know.
Uriel, Miragash, Glimmer, Gorodai, anything you want to look for in this magical shop?
Yes.
I wanna find something creepy looking, voodoo looking.
A mirror.
Yeah, I
Let's
either
start
want
with
to-
Glimmer. Start with Glimmer. Sorry. What are you looking for?
Something to give me some more AC, like a cloak of Elvenkind or like some studded armor. I don't know if a cloak of Elvenkind does that. I think it does.
It doesn't. It gives you advantage on spell checks.
It doesn't.
A cloak of
Um,
Elvenkind.
I see what it does for eyes. Oh,
Um, or like a ring of protection. I think that's a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
let's
Whatever
see.
409 gold pieces can get me.
There is a cloak of protection. There is boots of Elvenkind, which gives you advantage on stealth checks to move silently.
But I have my
Um,
fancy boots with footprints.
The cloak of Elvenkind is like a true like advantage on stealth. There is a ring of protection. There is
How much are these?
a cloak of Elvenkind actually. That depends. What are you looking for?
A ring of protection or a cloak of Elvenkind?
can we even
A
afford those?
cloak. The cloak of Elvenkind is gonna run you about 700 gold pieces.
Never mind.
How close are you?
A ring of protection. +1 armor class, +1 to saving throws. That one's about 1,500 gold pieces.
Glimmer's not buying anything.
Glimmer, how much do you need to get the cloak? Are you even close?
Glimmer will not take people's money.
I appreciate the thought, Miragash, but I don't want to be in debt.
Are you sure? I don't. I could. You would pay for the favor instead.
If you all like, I can just run through the magical items, and if something
Yes.
sounds interesting, you can go, "Hey."
Yes.
Sure.
Is anyone interested in weapons? Otherwise, I'm just gonna skip that category.
Yeah.
They have the
there's-
druid sickle.
They do not have a moonsicle.
A moonsicle.
They have a flame tongue dagger, a frostbrand rapier, a sword of life stealing, a moon touched greatsword, a quarterstaff of the viper, a
Can we
javelin
go
of
over the
lightning.
moon touched greatsword?
Quarterstaff with the viper and the flame tongue dagger.
I just like moon
We
shit.
have a trident of fish command, a dagger of venom, a +1 crossbow, a +1 maul of smashing, a spear
I'll
of
look at that.
warning, a spear of warning, and a war of the wand mage +1. Is weapons.
Can I use the War of the Wand Mage? Is that just a wizard item or any customers?
That's a wizard item,
Okay.
I believe.
Staff of the Viper and the Flint Tongue Dagger. Give me creepy staff.
What was it called? A war mace of smashing?
A maul of smashing. +1.
A staff of the viper. As a bonus action, you can speak the staff's command word and make the head of the staff become a animated poisonous snake for a minute. You can use a melee attack using the snake head, which has a reach of 5 feet. On a hit, it takes a d6 piercing damage, make a con save, or take 2d4 poison. If you roll a 1 while attacking, it's destroyed. So if you ever roll a natural 1 making an attack with it, it's just gone.
Hey, I always get advantage because of Holy Man over here. I want to roll real bad for that now. How much is it?
The staff of the viper.
Probably can't get it now, but know how much it is.
Let me see. It is about 300 gold pieces.
I haven't. We'll come back to that in a second. Does anyone else want to look at anything? I know I asked about the dagger, but that's mostly for Bellamy.
Mind shopping, but I also don't want to spend too much time shopping. If that's okay. I don't know. I'm not trying to like.
Not trying to what?
I don't know.
Rush.
I
Can they do?
want to roleplay is all. That's
fair,
just
that's
me.
fair. How much is the flame dagger?
The flame tongue dagger. Where did it go? Because this is telling me one price, but that's not accurate.
If the price is nutty, then that makes sense. Flame tongues are expensive.
They absolutely are.
Okay. Let me think on the
I don't think any of you can afford a flame tongue.
Yeah, you can move on to other people. I'm gonna think on the Viper for a second because that'll be all my money if I buy it.
How much is the dagger?
A flame tongue dagger. It's like 2,500.
Can they do enchantments? Can they enchant weapons?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like to look at that.
What are you trying to enchant, and what are you enchanting? What do you want the enchantment to be?
I want it to be like Minecraft. Let me slap some lapis lazuli down and pray.
If you don't provide the materials, it's more expensive to enchant something than it is to buy the same thing that's already enchanted.
Do you have any enchantment options ready to go? I've never enchanted.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real. I know there is enchanting in D&D. This shit is cool.
Glimmer, all right, I can continue going through all the items. I have armor and shields next.
Do you have studded leather armor?
Standard armors and weapons and the such can be found damn near anywhere. So we can just expedite that if you want.
Studded? Yeah.
Do you have any throwables?
We do have throwables, I believe.
Wait, do you have a dagger returning? That'd be great for Bellamy.
I don't have a dagger returning.
I'm looking for things like I'm looking for things for like similar to Violet's coin, you know. Maybe not so much gimmicky, but
trinkets.
Yeah, trinkets. Yeah, sure.
Studded leather armor will be about 70 gold pieces. Does anyone want me to go through armor and shields?
And you said 70 gold pieces? I'm sorry.
70.
Thank you.
I don't need you to go through the whole list, but I would like to see if there is a +1 shield somewhere.
They have a +1 shield and a shield of missile attraction.
What's that?
A shield of missile attraction. It gives you resistance to damage from ranged weapon attacks. But it also makes it so that if someone is a target of a ranged attack within 10 feet of you, you become the target instead.
Okay. I'll take the +1 shield if it's less than like 400. If not, then I'll pass.
A +1 shield. Please load. Let's see. Yeah, it's about 500.
Okay, that's alright. No worries. That's all I
Does
wanted.
anyone want me to go through potions?
Do they have potion ingredients? 'Cause I can make them.
It depends. I will say, actually, I'm gonna say no. They're not in the business of helping people make potions. They're trying to sell potions.
That's very fair. I think I'll hold off on that for
Okay.
now.
Wondrous items. Bag of holding. Goggles of
I'm
night.
getting that.
Decanter
of
of endless
holding.
water. Bag of holding.
Bag of holding immediately.
Let's
Everybody,
get
dude.
holding on
Fucking
I don't
everybody.
care how much it
Immediately.
is. We need
800
it.
gold pieces.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they cost. Usually, you
Fuck.
want to find one. They're 300 to 3,000. Wait, is it 300 or 3,000?
I'll come back after we've done a few
800.
jobs.
Oh,
800.
800. We can all put some down and try to get it.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea if we all put down 150 or however many party members we're in division it.
Like, yeah.
I want to see what else I have first.
Goggles of night. A decanter of endless water. I'm not even gonna. They have a broom of flying, but none of you can afford a broom of flying.
Son of a bitch. Kristen.
I don't need one. I already got one.
A wand of magic detection. A periapt of wound closure. An immovable rod. Ever smoking bottle.
An immovable what?
Immovable rod.
It
It's
looks
so
like
good.
It looks like a little thing. It's like a little staff this big. There's a button on it, and when you click it, it freezes in the spot it's in and can't be.
And nothing can move it.
So
Oh
if we're
shit, how much is
falling,
that?
It's a fun app.
There is a amulet of proof against detection. A ring of feather falling. Gloves of missile snaring. A luck stone. A brooch of shielding, and dust of disappearance.
Oh fuck! Can I look at the feather falling ring, dust disappearance, and the not moving rod thing? Where the fuck the thing was?
The
we
immovable
do need
rod.
a featherfall ring. That would be so good. That affects up to 6 creatures. If it casts a spell.
It doesn't.
Oh.
The ring of feather falling. When you fall wearing this ring, you descend up to 60 feet around, and you take no falling damage.
Okay.
Still good though, even if it doesn't affect everyone.
It's 1,100 gold pieces.
God
Oh.
damn it, Brendan.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna afford a lot of shit here, honestly.
Yeah.
Need another job.
Let's see.
Can I shove it in my
the
pocket?
immovable
Slide a
rob
pan
is
check?
1,200. Wand of magic detection 800. Periapt of wound closure 2,500. The bag of goggles of
Alright,
night is 6.
I don't like this place anymore.
And then I also have curiosities. I have a drift globe, chime of opening, medallion of thoughts.
What's a drift globe?
A drift globe is it's an uncommon magical item. If you're within 60 feet of it, you can speak its command word, causing it to emanate the light, to emanate the light or daylight spell. Once used, that effect can't be used until the next day. You can speak another command word as an action to make it rise into the air and float. It's a floating lantern that can give off light or daylight.
We got Uriel.
Honestly, let's get it for Uriel.
We got Uriel.
Just daylight.
We got the globe at home.
We got the globe. I think we come back out there and we get some money. Because we're so.
I might peel off and I don't know if I heard you right, but did I hear you there were like training grounds like with dummies and shit?
No.
No? I swear to God I heard that. I don't know why.
I mean, I can make you some training dummies I can fight back.
No. Wanna do. So this is more
Can I
of a
run off
magic
to,
shop than anything.
Yes, it is a magic shop.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, and I got nothing left here.
Can I run off to a blacksmith, weaponsmith real quick? See if I can upgrade my sword to a +1 rapier.
Hey, I know a really good blacksmith actually.
Oh yeah?
Do you?
Yeah,
Who?
How do you know a blacksmith?
he's Alien. He's really cool. Uriel met him too. That's like where we were earlier. Base Foundry, great place, great blacksmith. I know a guy.
How do you know someone? All right, sure.
All right. Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
I
This
want to hear
place.
that from you, Mirgash.
What?
No one
Oh, yeah, this-
carrying steel
I
car.
forgot about that.
I
Yeah.
can trust Alien. He told me how to get back to the Feywild. Or at least pointed me into the right direction.
Oh, so
Did?
that's how you knew.
That's good.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a Fae in the city?
Over your voice. Oh my gosh, Violet.
It's a fake.
You want to
I
sit?
guess.
You don't want me being pinned to the table, part 2.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. It's a fae.
I mean, I thought I was talking kind of softly. I don't know.
We don't want
Didn't you give me a little bit of shit when I said that back on the ship, and then we're in a town where they're not. Like,
we were on
Yes.
a boat. We were on a boat. I felt safer on the boat than I do in the city. Because on a boat, there's like, what, 100 people? I can deal with that. But like, give me 5,000 people? That's a lot. I don't have that many arrows.
What time is it?
At this point, I'll probably say like 4 p.m.
So we have to stay here for a week, at
Mhm.
least.
about he might
Thank
give us something earlier.
We might need to extend our stay at that inn, for one. Two, we might want to get to know a little more of the city, maybe.
We can find an
I mean,
extended
I
stay.
was
A what?
I was planning on walking around.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
that's what I
I
was
do have to go to bed,
suggesting.
guys. So I'm gonna
Good
dip.
night.
Oh,
Alright,
bye.
good night.
Sorry.
What happened, Trip?
See ya.
You okay?
You want to bed?
He has to go to bed. Sleepy.
Okay. I thought you said he has to go deal with bad guys and he had to leave.
No.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Can't play D&D. Have to deal with the bad
Gord,
boys.
I actually, if you wouldn't mind, I know a good tailor. We can
Talking
get you
to?
all those rags.
I have a question. Does the tailor know that you look like the way that you do now?
I mean, probably not, but he takes coin.
This is. I was just wondering if he's a friend or not.
Why are we talking
it from
about
last time?
Taylor?
I look at Gordai, who's like wearing rags that he was wearing in the prison cell,
Yeah.
and I also used to live here.
Okay.
So that's why I would know a tailor.
Do you
I'm
have a
asking
problem with
why
my
we're
tie, good
talking
sir?
about Taylor.
Sorry, what was your
He's-
question, Danny? Maybe I misheard you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to walk around the city until kind of night falls. And part of me wants to see if just in random happenstance I run into that one guy who I saw had what I saw.
Okay.
But other than that, just kind of get to know the city better and just find a good place to look at the stars.
Anyone else?
You know what? That sounds kind of nice. Can I come with you?
Of course. Of course, friends are always welcome.
All right then.
Does anyone want to do anything different? Otherwise, we'll just assume everyone is in a group.
I would like to buy a history book from the bookstore, just in like general information of Ashera, like a
Okay.
6th grade level history book.
Sure. A gold piece.
Sweet. Glimmer's just reading that.
Not a lot of detail. It's more about like a page per event.
Perfect.
So, anyone else?
What was Gorodai doing again?
I'm just walking
He's-
around the city,
Sightseeing.
sightseeing, and then finding a good place to look at the stars.
Miragash will offer to get you new clothes. If you say no, that's fine.
We'll find him something.
Well, yeah. If I'm interested to see what kind of clothes would come out of this. So sure, let's see where this goes.
All right. I know this guy. We'll tell you what's something real next.
All right, Miragash.
Mighty kinda you. Mighty kinda you.
Lead the party to a humble store, a tailor shop that you knew. It's been a long time since you've been back. You see some familiar faces that look just a bit older, but some fresh faces. But it's still the same shop, same owner that you're aware of. So if anyone wishes to get spruced up, now's your chance.
Yeah, I essentially like. I'm gonna go and try to get Gorodai some nice clothes, like kind of that like a businessman kind of suit look, like tie, kind of overcoat. Like if Miragash's clothing wasn't dark and voodoo-ish, it was like more proper. You would go kind of looking for that. Even get it like hat and get
Okay.
one of those like this is me for tiefling, so there's little holes for your horns kind of situation.
Gorodai, do you change your clothing, your wardrobe at all? And if so, what is it? Or are you just letting Miragash dress you?
You can get different stuff, but that's what Miragash is trying to say. Like, hey, try this on.
Yeah. Honestly, I think he grew up in an urchin, a street rat. He he doesn't feel so like he would certainly like kind of like let you like dress him up, but I don't know if he would like he would bust out that probably like as his like, oh, if you're going to a funeral, you know,
Okay.
like the funeral clothes you wear once a year.
So, a funeral clothing or like a funeral suit? Does it have to
Like
be
or
so
like
He's
Like-
wearing
like-
I can
funeral,
help with
like
funeral
mourning garb.
clothing.
or,
Yeah.
or like
As a matter of
or like
fact,
if that's
why don't you?
no I mean like he would treat it like that, like any suit would be like, oh man, never wear that unless it's like a serious occasion kind of deal.
Okay.
Literally, it's like he's just a guy who grew. Rags are what suits him best.
Tell us what, walking out of the tailor shop, what are you wearing?
Honestly, you would just probably stick with the rags. Honestly,
Okay.
All right. How much would the suit cost? 'Cause I will get it for him if he ever wants to wear it.
I'll say like 4 gold.
So Gorda, you have it if you ever want it.
thank you, my good sir. Very kind of
Is
you.
anyone else changing their wardrobe?
I'm just gonna get out of my armor.
You all begin kind of just scouring the city. Led a little bit by Miragash through some of the more familiar areas, and some points just letting your feet take you wherever seems interesting. You stop at food stalls, grab a couple of drinks at bars as you pass, and generally just spend the larger part of the evening just kind of just spending time together in the city, making your way through Miragash's hometown until finally the sun sets behind the mountains and it gets to be darker and darker, and you can see some of the stars come out a little bit. It's not a very super clear night, so it's not a full clear sky. At what point do you retire?
Played late.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty late.
Yeah.
Say it's probably like 10, 11. Been out and walking the city for like 5 hours. Seeing probably a good like 60-70% of the city. Making your way through the different districts. You are turned away at the silver scaffolds by guards, but you're able to walk through the upper slabs a little bit, even to the steps, going up to the seat of devotion, making your way back down through the lower slabs, seeing a little bit more up close and personal the drop, the massive entrance to the mines that lurk below the city, going through the Sword Corridor and the Coin District. As you all retire for the evening, back at the Haven Inn, Glimmer,
Hey.
you are approached by Talon, the half-orc. He has this like heavy tankard in one hand. Looks like he's not working for once. Kind of makes his way over and kind of like sets a hand on your shoulder. I hate to interject. Were you able to get any help that I was?
I was. Thank you so much. You pointed me in a direction. I don't know how to repay you for that, but you helped me a lot.
I met our smith friend and kind of gives you a wink. By chance, with Master Thrain. He's a bit off-putting, but he's a good sword.
He's probably single, right?
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Right. And he kind of just turns and walks away.
And Glimmer's like,
Um,
was like, she's like,
Okay.
He's probably single, right?
just like,
Is
fiddling
there
with her
anything
hair.
else anyone wants to do before the evening ends?
I'm gonna talk to Violet.
Up Miragash.
It seemed upset earlier about me knowing Carrion. We need to talk
You
about
wanna
that.
start this right now?
Hey, all I know is best to settle things before bed. Don't let it simmer.
I'll let it simmer. Because you chose to not tell us that when we were looking for that very man. That you knew him.
I
That
mentioned
woulda
I knew
helped
him
us.
back in the other town. I mentioned I knew him.
That's not what I remember. That's not what Billy Me remembers.
That's how I got us in the door to talk to that other nobleman. I said I knew Lord Carrion. I guess if you guys thought I was lying, I wasn't being direct enough with that, and I apologize. And I'm an open book if you ask. I'll tell you information if you want. I wasn't trying to hide it. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. I'm not gonna force it on you.
I don't get it. That's all.
Get what?
You.
What don't you get?
I just
How
said
can I?
you.
Yeah. What about me don't you get? How can I solve this curiosity, this mystery for you?
You can't. Sometimes people just don't understand each other, and that's fine.
Well, if it
She's
helps,
gonna
something.
get up. And she's gonna excuse herself. Find somewhere private, I suppose. Whether it's a room or whatever. Somewhere with some fresh air. Love you, Era. This is all Violet. This is not me, I swear.
I'm
Anyone
aware. Don't worry
else?
about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I know I got that resting bitch face, I know.
Gorodai, Glimmer, or Uriel, anything you want to do before the day closes?
Glimmer is engrossed in her history book. She is doing her best to study up.
Not tonight. Is Uriel still here? I think I remember him saying that he had.
I haven't heard Bull all night.
Well, buddy.
Is he here?
He said in the call chat that he had to BRB really back, but that he was supervising Glimmer in the magic shop.
Okay.
But
well, that was like almost
that was half hour
an hour
ago.
ago. Yeah.
They probably came up.
But he's not responding, so he's still gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that case, everyone retires for the evening. Does anyone pay for the next however long you're staying here?
I do. Before I leave.
We'll say it's about 3 gold.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, I'll pay. And are we gonna have this entire week as downtime? No. Okay.
As anything else before y'all go to bed?
I read the black hole. So if I let it.
Okay. As you all settle in for the evening, let me find. Sorry. Really?
When the music isn't the way you want it.
You all settle in for the night and begin to kind of drift off to sleep a little bit. Violet.
Oh no.
You're not quite sure what time it is. You kind of wake up with the feeling of a presence in the room. Opening your eyes just a little bit, it is pitch black in this room. You can see out the window a little bit. It is pitch black. Still fully night. And you feel a weight kind of settle behind you in the bed. And you hear a voice kind of just whisper, "Why are you with these people?"
Eddie? And I'll look over my shoulder.
Yeah, you see hair kind of just tousled like she's been laying in bed all day. You see Nettie. Wearing just like a white nightgown. Like this kind of thing you would wear to bed. Just laying kind of behind you in the bed. just kind of like head kind of laying on her arm.
Scared me.
Sorry.
I,
These aren't your people. You seem so unhappy.
I don't know. I don't really have anywhere to go back to.
Of course you do. You can always come home. Might be
How?
different. Might be different than you left it. But would it really be that much worse than here?
Different is an understatement. It, it was decimated. There's nothing to go back to. And nobody to go back to except someone who wants to kill me.
So we rebuild.
With who? When I stepped outside of that door, do you know what I saw?
Tell me.
It'd look like a storm had hit our home. Everything was just destroyed. Everyone we knew was long dead. And I found you. Found you first. There was barely anything left. I would rather at least be somewhere where there are people instead of just a place. That's all that's left.
Our home was not perfect. They were not kind, or generous, or loving. Sometimes things need to be torn down to be made better. I'm here now. We can build something better.
You're gonna be gone in the morning. And every time you go, I don't know if I'm gonna see you again. How is that being here? When I know what happened and who's responsible.
You kind of watch Nettie kind of draw inward to herself and kind of retreat from you a little bit. These aren't your people. This isn't your home. They don't care.
It's not been easy, but things weren't easy when I came to the village. I mean, I think you underestimate just how different this is. Not better, not worse, just different. It's a culture shock, yeah, but I don't want to be stagnant. And if I go back to this vast expanse of emptiness and reminders of everything that happened, and I can't. Maybe these people don't understand me. Maybe they don't even care about me. But I'm trying not to let that influence how I treat people. Flippin'.
What are you running from?
What
Like
I
you
did.
said, everything already happened. But nothing's going to get better for us if you don't change something.
What am I supposed to do? I don't even know how to get back. If I wanted to, and I don't know if I want to. The thought of it just fills me with dread. Seeing
When I'm not with you, where do you think I go?
I don't know.
And you can see her eyes like begin to like well up with tears. And she starts to shake lightly.
Nettie.
I can't always be the one to find you.
How? How do I find you? Is it the Shadowfell? Is that where you go?
Something similar.
Do you know how to get... Do you know how I can get to you?
When I find you again, it's like this sad little sound that I hear at the edge of the room. And I just follow it, and then I find you. I don't know how it works.
And you don't rightly remember any of what happened, right? Before I told you?
Pieces. Feelings, mostly.
What's the first step? I mean, there's gotta be a starting point here. If there is a chance that we can be together again, for real, want to go for it.
You need to stop running. It's hard. But nothing changes if you don't address everything that's chasing.
You talking about Riven?
I'm talking about any of it. Riven. Me. That door that started it all, and everything that happened in between.
Going to take out my holy symbol and see. I'm just curious if it's doing anything.
Sure. Your holy symbol? What's your holy
Yes.
symbol look like?
The symbol of Xira. Like it's kind of like a medallion almost.
Okay.
In that kind of format.
It's.
With like a ribbon.
What are you looking for? If it's just reacting in some way?
Yeah, just in terms of like magic and whatnot. Like,
Not that you can tell.
yeah, okay. What does that look like? What does it look like to stop running? Do I go back?
Maybe finding out what happened is a good start. You don't really know what you did you?
I don't.
It's hard to fix your problems if you don't know what's there to solve.
I'm gonna get up out of bed.
Okay.
And kind of walk towards wherever the nearest window is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, I think she's more or less being a little aimless and anxious in her movements, but I think she starts to like pace a little bit.
Okay.
And it's just, I just want to like rack my brain of like what I know so far of this city, and if there's really like any areas of the city that could help me, or people in the city that could help me. Like, I don't know much about this place, but like trying to rack my brain of everything we've gone through. I just don't know where that starts.
What does that look like? What people do you think could help you? What information do you look that you think?
I'm mostly like extraplanar travel. Like, how would one get from one
All
place
the
to
magical
next?
specialists are in the Vastet house. That's been said to multiple people.
You also did just find out that Glimmer found out a way home to the Feywild, so maybe talk to her.
I'll try.
And you just formed a working relationship with a very influential, wealthy person as well.
Shout out to Corbin Moss.
I just don't know the right questions to ask. That's all. But
I can't
yeah,
answer if I
she'll-
don't know the questions.
Um, I will. I'll try first thing in the morning. If you stay tonight.
I'll try.
Thank you. She'll get back into bed.
Okay. I want you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. $19.
Okay. You lay back down in bed next to Nettie, and you drift back off to a restless sleep. Miragash. You feel sore. Your whole body screams with just this burning sensation. Like you just did an Iron Man without warning. And as you go to speak, nothing comes out. It's just this ever so slight just release of air, just and you can't move your body. You can feel the wet, cold water up to your ribs. And the rough, jagged, sharp wood that cuts into your skin, into your legs, into your back. You can't move your head, but you can just barely open your eyes, and you are laying in a forest. A swamp. Your body is half submerged in this black murk. And you can almost see these long, slimy tendrils snaking beneath the water. You can see these silhouettes of people you once knew, or thought you knew, in the distance, just watching you. As you feel the swamp begin to eat you alive. And you can feel the burning, piercing pain as one of these gnarled roots of the tree of which you are bound to enters your lower leg and snakes its way up the bones of your leg. Flesh and muscle ripping as roots and branches embed themselves within and without your body, caging and tying you to this swamp forever. You can feel them entering through different points, your back, your arms. You feel one small little branch enter the back of your neck and wrap itself around your spinal cord, and before it begins to snake its way up your skull. You can see blood begin to pour from your arms as a little white root pokes its way out from the inside of your elbow and digs back down to your wrist. But you don't feel cold. You feel warm, like you're laying in front of a fireplace. And these silhouettes in the distance fade. And through this thick canopy above you, you can see the sunrise and set and rise and set over and over and over again, thousands of times. As you are pulled deeper into the heart of this tree and become one with the swamp with which you once feared. You don't know how long you lay there. When you open your eyes again, there's a man in front of you. Older, wearing this thin sheet of a poncho just across his shoulders. A long, gnarled staff that he kind of leans on as he kind of sits next to you. And as you kind of look down, the tree of which you are now entombed is covered in these bright pink and purple flowers. Barely able to breathe, barely able to think. Man kind of just regards you for a moment. Reaches down and plucks a flower. And you can almost hear him say something. Not just to you, but the tree. To both of you. At this point, they're almost the same thing. And you feel that warmth return and your eyes kind of fall closed. And through that haze, you can feel the roots and the branches retreat from your body. You can feel the hard clasp of wood and bark and root and branch release and crack themselves free from your spine, from your ribs, retreating from your body, but leaving something behind, nestled deep around and within your heart. Glimmer.
Ye?
Make a charisma saving throw.
Why would you do this to me?
I mean,
How does an 11 do?
You are laying face down in thick, rubbery, dark green, just kind of draped over you in this makeshift blanket of leaves and branches and dirt. You hear music and voices in the distance as you, from your hole in the ground, you see almost like not quite a party, but an entourage. This small parade of beautiful fae making their way and settling within this large green clearing in front of you. You see these beautiful pitch black horses with fire lightly coming up from their hooves and their manes. And a woman seated on top. High facial features and a wooden crown that surrounds, kind of almost in a U shape. Open at the front by the brow and reaching back across the back of her skull. These branches of golden wood just climb up in this beautiful wooden crown. And beside her, another woman, equally beautiful, but in a different, more manufactured way. Whereas the first seems pure nature, the second seems almost artificial in its perfection. You see them speaking and laughing as they go about their talks. You can't quite make out what they're saying.
Do I
You
recognize them at
see-
all?
You've never seen these people before.
Okay.
On the woman, she has this beautiful floral dress that almost looks like massive layered flower petals. And from
Like cherry blossoms?
more like a rose. You see hanging off of the side of her horse this beautiful massive cheetah. You see tied to this kind of tied together and laid across, you see heads severed at the neck, mouths open and screaming, blood still dripping from the eyes, the mouth, these stumps where their bodies were. As you see two of the oldest and possibly cruelest of the Fae that you've ever seen. As you observe this clandestine meeting, you know this, you should not be here, but you couldn't help yourself. Such a thing is a powerful secret. Something that could empower you, something that could make you rise in station, if not power. And you feel that thrill of adrenaline and watching something you know you should not see. These two Fae ladies are followed by small entourages, 3, 4 young men and women, each adorned in the colors of their court and the colors of their house. And as you watch, you see a man step out from the trees and into this clearing. He's wearing dark black and blue leathers with this cold iron steel and iron armor across his shoulders and chest, with a wicked looking blade on his hip. And from his side, he has a large hooked, like a meat hook, and from it hangs a new head, one that you recognize.
Ooh.
One of
Sorry.
you see it feels wrong to not know their name, but you know their face. One of your members of the court. The man presents this fresh trophy to the women in front of him. And as he does, you almost feel the world pause. And this woman in the rose dress turns her head and she looks through the forest and the trees, and you can feel her gaze settle on you. And even though you can almost see her whisper, finally, there you are. And you awake.
Yeah, I scream.
And that is where we're going to end for the evening.
Yo.
Crazy.
That was cool.
Had a very
That